Given a second chance at life, I swear to dodge the very girl who once owned my entire heart. I am merely the chauffeur's son now. Yet, as Stella Sterling stares at the hollow space beside her, she shatters her own rules. For the first time ever, she acknowledges my father. "Mr. Morrow, are we departing so soon?" Stunned by the sudden question, my dad blinks in shock. "Miss Sterling, do you require something else?" A bizarre annoyance twists Stella's beautiful features. "What about Cole? Did you not wait for him today?" He claimed he had class business and took the bus instead. Hearing this, Stella's expression morphs into absolute ice. Her regression has already altered destiny. Why is Cole avoiding her? In her past timeline, he would beg for this ride. Before time reset, he lingered like a devoted shadow inside that luxury cabin, fearful of wasting a single second of her time. Perhaps this twist is fate's blessing. Those past 5 years with Cole only fueled Zane's furious jealousy. Armed with future knowledge, she resolves to sever Cole from her newly claimed destiny. Our fates bypassing the grand courtyard, I vanish toward the servant block. But from her lofty balcony, Stella locks eyes on her target. Her piercing stare tracks my every footstep before shouting my name into the wind. I keep my earphones firmly plugged. Feigning total deafness, I march straight toward my pathetic room. Above me, Stella's aura turns absolutely freezing. She storms down into the servant territory. Just as my door clicks shut, an elegant shoe violently wedges it open. "Cole, did you seriously ignore my call?" I am not amused. My mistake. Earphones were blasting. I heard absolutely nothing. "What exactly is your business here?" Stella freezes, remembering her regression. They are total strangers in this timeline. She quickly masks her slip-up. "Why reject the ride home today?" My tone remains completely hollow. "Must be a joke. You are the noble heiress. I am dirt compared to your status. Sharing your space is absurd. I might have been foolish before, but my reality check has cashed. Leave my father out of this." Stella scoffs, a frosty edge in her voice. "Excellent. Know your lowly rank. Just handle the master's questions yourself. I never banished you from my sight." She violently slams the door behind her. I barely blink. In this second life, playing her fool is strictly forbidden. My dorm application is pending. Just a few days left. At the crack of dawn, I ditch the estate and march straight to the local bus stop. From her luxurious balcony, a groggy Stella watches my shadow vanish. A storm of complex emotions swirls within her sharp gaze. "Playing hard to get will never earn my grace," she mutters, white-knuckling the balcony railing. Moments later, a metal tin can of a bus arrives. I dive into the suffocating ocean of morning commuters. Before I can even anchor my feet, a heavy weight crashes into my spine. A creepy older guy flashes a sickeningly slow grin. Escape is impossible. He anchors his disgusting frame against my back, acting like he owns the space. Suddenly, an absolute goddess materializes from the chaos. Cradling a hostile potted cactus, she charges through the dense crowd like a tank. "Coming through, watch your backs," she sings out, wielding the thorny weapon to part the human sea. Her target locked. The creep flinches too late, and those brutal spikes plunge right into his grasping hand. "Are you insane carrying a literal hazard on board? Watch it." Claiming his territory, she drops the most drippingly sarcastic apology ever witnessed. "Oops, my deepest apologies. I will totally be more careful next time." Glaring daggers at my face, the creep retreats into the shadows. I pivot toward my bizarre savior, meeting her intensely sharp stare. Her vibrant eyes slice through me, judging my utter lack of survival skills. Tension thickens in the silence before I break it. "Are you mocking my situation?" She smirks. "Stay alert on this bus line. Predatory creeps are everywhere here. Seen it a million times. Reality strikes me like lightning. She was running interference. Thank you for the rescue. I am Cole, studying drama and screenwriting at Ashford University. And you?" "I am Ivy, from Birchwood across the street. Just a simple farming student." Before the tension can settle, the brakes screech. Both rival academies are merely 2 blocks apart. Stepping onto the pavement, I prepare a formal token of gratitude. But she has literally vanished. Her impossibly long strides conquer the crosswalk in seconds. Shrugging off the wild encounter, I pivot toward my own destiny. The autumn freshman showcase drops like a bombshell. Stella is the grand finale. The entire student body is ravenous for a glimpse of the Sterling goddess. Yet, I remain the sole soul immune to her charm. My interest is absolute zero. Still, Rico drags me like a desperate hostage. "This is a legendary event. We bled to enter this academy. Missing this means our youth is utterly ruined. Faster than the speed of light, this maniac launches us directly into the third row danger zone. A frantic senior from logistics was drowning in snack boxes. Suddenly, his desperate eyes locked onto me. He practically begged me to haul rations to the starving performers. Sighing, I grabbed the heavy cargo, weaving through the chaotic backstage crowd. The area was absolutely packed with nervous students waiting for their cue. I dumped the box on the nearest table. Almost like a cursed reflex, my gaze drifted toward the main dressing room. In my previous life, I specifically hunted down Stella's absolute favorite treats. The pile was loaded with peanut-flavored danger, and her allergy was severe. I was deathly afraid she would make a fatal mistake, trigger a catastrophic reaction, and shatter her flawless stage debut. This time, I honestly could not care less. She can read her own labels. It is not exactly ancient runes. Meanwhile, inside that very room, Stella paced restlessly, plagued by an unexplainable creeping tension. A sudden knock shattered the silence. Before Tara could even move, Stella practically ripped the door open, venom already dripping from her tongue. "I told you, I am not eating!" Her furious shout died in her throat. The poor student outside recoiled in absolute terror. "Miss Sterling, about your performance tonight. Slam!" She shut the door right in his trembling face without a second thought. Flopping back onto the sofa, her icy aura dropped the room's temperature below freezing. Tara just scratched her head in total confusion. "Wait, you seriously hate Ryan that much?" Stella blinked, caught off guard. "Who?" I did not even look. Tara was utterly speechless. Ignoring her, Stella bit her lip in pure frustration. Cole was supposed to be here. In her previous timeline, he was already hovering around by now. Unable to stand the agonizing suspense, she stormed out of the room. Outside, the hungry cast was already raiding the supply drop. Tara snatched a pastry and hurried back. "Just eat this for now. We are totally out of time to wander around." Stella accepted it, but her eyes locked onto the label, peanut flavor. Her stunning face twisted into a massive, bitter scowl. It was not until she stepped under the blinding stage lights that her eyes finally found me. The fanboys in the crowd were screaming their lungs out, but me? I was completely glued to my screen. Annoyed by the deafening cheers, I shoved my earphones in and tuned out her existence. As her final note faded, the entire auditorium erupted in sheer madness. A massive wave of fans swarmed the stage with extravagant bouquets. Her arms were overflowing with gorgeous roses, yet she refused to step down. Driven by some magnetic force, her gaze remained glued to my seat. Meanwhile, deep in the third row, Rico returned clutching two massive flower arrangements. He practically shoved one right against my chest. "Dude, I am giving these to Stella. Let's go." I forcefully pushed them right back. "Are you insane? I would rather gift these to a stray dog." But glancing up at the stage, a past life memory hit me like a truck. Tara had actually been a solid ally. "Fine," I sighed. "I am coming." Up on stage, Stella was lost in her own regression memories. Last time, she had cruelly rejected my desperate offering. This time, she resolved to be gracious. She knew my devotion was absolute. It was not true love, but it was enough to stroke her fragile ego. She stood perfectly still, her breath catching as I climbed the steps. She was completely captivated by my steady approach. As the distance closed, she eagerly shifted her massive haul of flowers, extending a delicate hand to claim my prize. But I ghosted right past her. I presented the beautiful blooms straight to Tara instead. "You were absolutely incredible up there," I smiled warmly. "Please, accept these." Tara froze like an absolute statue for 2 agonizing seconds, before finally reaching out in sheer shock. "Wow, thank you so much." I gave a respectful nod, spun around, and walked away without giving Stella a single, pathetic glance. Tara looked up, meeting Stella's absolutely murderous glare. Stella whipped around, fuming. "Since when do you have a secret thing with Cole?" Tara was completely dumbfounded. "What? We have barely spoken." "Stella, are you blind? He is clearly doing this just to mess with your head." "As if. Why would I ever care about a total loser like him?" Later that night, I finally stepped into the Sterling Manor just past 10. My old man intercepted me the second I walked through the door. "Cole, did you cross paths with Miss Sterling today?" She canceled her ride and went completely off the grid. It is past 10, her phone is dead, and her mother is losing her absolute mind. The madam was practically tearing the house apart. Calmly, I opened the freshman group chat. "Tell her to cancel the search party. They are just partying at a karaoke lounge." Dad sighed in massive relief. "Thank heavens. I will report back before she interrogates you." I zoomed in on the flashing chat photos. Right there, pressed close against Stella, was the ultimate golden boy himself, Zane. So, the star-crossed lovers reunited exactly as destiny dictated. By morning, The mansion shook with Mrs. Sterling's absolute fury over the all-nighter. Not wanting to be caught in that explosive crossfire, I ghosted out of the house at the crack of dawn before anyone noticed. The moment my boots hit the bus steps, my eyes found Ivy. She was cradling a breathtakingly vibrant succulent like a precious treasure. Paranoid that yesterday's stalker might be lurking around, I completely bypassed the empty seats and flashed her a bright morning smile. Without a single word, she subtly shifted over, offering me the window seat to keep me safely shielded from the open aisle. Her silent, gentle protection warmed my cold heart. Ivy. That plant is absolutely stunning. I found myself mesmerized, totally lost in the quiet moment. This tiny succulent brings back overwhelming memories. It perfectly matches the graduation gift from my previous life. A rare neon haworthia. Ivy breaks the comfortable silence. Do you like it? I nod eagerly. I absolutely adore it. It gleams like crystal. Without another word, she slides the beautiful pot my way. Take it. It is yours. I instinctively reach out, then freeze. Wait, are you seriously gifting me this? Her expression remains perfectly stoic. You like it. Keep it. My greenhouse is overflowing. That makes sense. She is an agriculture major, probably cultivates them herself. She was carrying a massive cactus yesterday. A simple plant cannot cost much anyway. I smile and accept it. Thank you, Ivy. Next time, boba is my treat. Her piercing gaze lingers on me before whipping out her phone. Do not break that promise. Add my contact. I quickly comply. I promise. I never break my word. The bus screeches to a halt. Surprisingly, she does not instantly vanish today. She actually turns to bid farewell. Startled, I wave back. Walking to class, I cradle the tiny plant like a fragile diamond. The school bell rings. Rico crashes into the seat next to me, practically vibrating with explosive gossip. I stayed up reading the school forums. Word is, Princess Stella is officially dating Ridgemont Tech's legendary bad boy. Obviously, I already know this. Zane is their reigning king. Zane was originally meant to study overseas. Rico babbles on. But his father faced a massive scandal. His golden ticket completely vanished. He barely survived the entrance exams to reach Ridgemont. And with the semester just starting, his family is drowning in debt. So now, he is desperately clinging to Stella, a literal billionaire heiress. She rejected her overseas acceptance and battled her family to stay near him. A star-crossed disaster. They are probably cuddling in his cramped apartment right now. Rico glares at my completely unfazed expression. Cole, seriously? How are you not screaming over this news right now? The untouchable Stella Sterling is taken. I sigh deeply. Why should I care about her love life? I would rather work overtime than obsess over rumors. Rico shrugs in defeat. True, the princess can date any peasant she desires. Suddenly, Rico leans in incredibly close. Cole, wait. Is that a neon haworthia? Yours? That is absolutely impossible. You are constantly broke, yet you casually bring a 4-figure treasure to class. My blood freezes instantly. Are you messing with me? This tiny thing? 4 figures? Rico squints at the leaves like a master jeweler. No way. Try 5 figures. My jaw practically hits the floor. I frantically scroll through internet botanical databases. The horrifying truth sinks in. It is an absolute luxury. A specimen this flawless requires master-level cultivation. Panic sets in. I open Ivy's social profile, snap a desperate picture of the plant, and hit send. Ivy, when are your classes over? I must return this masterpiece. Her quick reply is just a single question mark. You claim to like it. It was a gift. Why return it? It is way too valuable. Honestly, I am absolutely terrified. I will definitely accidentally kill it. Please take it back. An agonizing silence follows. Then, 2 devastating words arrive. No thanks. She immediately sends a massive, detailed care manual. Follow the instructions carefully. Message me if you panic. I slowly slide my phone away. I gaze at the legendary little plant before me. A strange warmth blossoms in my chest. But the shock is not over. Rico's eyes widen as he inspects the base again. Cole, wait. Is this pot carved from pure agate? I clutch my chest to stop my racing heart. Please, say no more. With classes done, I transport the pot home like a holy relic. My stepmother Diane pokes her head out the adjacent window. Cole, Madam Sterling is demanding your immediate presence. That cursed name makes my stomach churn. During my past life's 5-year nightmare with Stella, madam, Sterling was a relentless tyrant whenever Stella looked away. Sadly, my dorm is not ready for 7 more days. I am trapped in this neighborhood for now. I approach Madam Sterling with forced politeness. How may I serve you? I will help if possible. Stella is ditching her lectures again. Her academic advisor contacted me today. She skipped 2 entire days, and the semester barely began. She performs this tragedy with absolute theatrical flair. My face remains ice cold. I know the truth. No advisor would ever dare report the attendance of the Sterling princess. Who would risk offending her mighty empire? Cole, you attend the same university as my daughter, right? You share several courses. Be my eyes and ears. If she vanishes, text me immediately. Let us exchange numbers first. I see right through this facade. She does not care about skipped lectures at all. She is furious about the boy Stella is sneaking off to sea. This exact trap played out in my past life. Back then, my foolish crush made me a willing spy. Stella would appear just long enough for my photographic proof to pacify her mother. Then, she would bolt again. When Madame Sterling finally uncovered the deception, her terrifying wrath completely crushed me. In this life, I refuse to be their pawn. I open my mouth to decline, but Diane harshly shoves my back. Snapping a few shots of the young miss? Child's play. Rest easy, Madame Sterling. Cole has this entirely under control. She pulls up her Orbit application, locates the Madame's contact details, and smoothly shoves the digital profile my way. I trail behind Diane, expression completely dead. Zero chance I'm playing paparazzi. You made that promise, so you handle the fallout. Pivoting sharply, I march right back to my quarters. The Madame's venomous little scheme is crystal clear to me. My recent attempts to orbit Stella were glaringly obvious. The sharp-eyed matriarch definitely caught wind of my lingering shadows. Knowing the heiress absolutely despises surveillance, forcing a camera into my hands is a brilliant trap. A flawless 2-for-1 execution. The heiress learns to despise my existence, while Zane's lifeline gets severed. Well past 10 tonight, the young miss finally returns, instantly sparking a vicious shouting match with her mother. Almost an hour passes before she violently storms outside, practically radiating pure fury. Her target? The courtyard pavilion directly opposite the staff quarters. Across my previous timeline, that exact window framed my pathetic, endless nights of pining for her. Her icy gaze locks onto my glass panes, brimming with absolute expectation. She begins a silent countdown. Before hitting 20, the lowly driver's boy would miraculously appear, offering snacks or a protective umbrella, or blindly rushing over just to comfort her. Then, slam. The very glass she's staring down abruptly seals shut, plunging into darkness. She freezes in utter disbelief. Reality shatters her expectations. Jaw clenched with absolute outrage, she stomps over and hammers against my glass. I completely underestimated her sheer audacity. Lingering in the shadows, I finally step into the cool air. Do you require assistance, young miss? Her features contort into a complex mask. Why did you shut me out? For basic decency, naturally. Peeping eyes aren't exactly welcome in my personal space. Her visage instantly frosts over. Deep down, she senses this timeline's drastic shift, yet arrogantly assumes it's merely a desperate new tactic to win her favor. Perfect. Then let it remain sealed forever. Don't you dare crack it open. My eyes burn holes into her retreating silhouette. Her royal highness is completely, utterly unbearable. Then, she abruptly halts. My mother ordered you to snap pictures of me on campus, right? I feign surprise. Where did you hear that? Relax. I refuse to play stalker. I haven't before, and I certainly won't start now. She releases a mocking breath. A mysterious emotion flickers through her gaze. You have my permission to record me, she finally declares. Obey her petty commands. I have zero intentions of cutting lectures regardless. Pivoting, she marches away. Memories of our previous existence haunt her mind, recalling how the matriarch absolutely shredded me for protecting her secrets. She refuses to let me suffer that fate twice. Wait a second, I shout out. She freezes. A triumphant spark ignites her expression. Ha! I knew it! His pathetic devotion remains intact. She spins around, projecting an aura of absolute superiority. What now? Only to discover my lens deadlocked on her stunned face. Young miss, you explicitly granted consent for these shots, correct? Care to repeat that statement for audio confirmation? I refuse to become the scapegoat later. Pure blazing wrath erupts in her eyes. I said start shooting. Snap every single angle you desire. Are you satisfied? Whirling around, she storms off into the night. Locking the footage with a victorious smirk, I drift into an incredibly peaceful, guilt-free slumber. Little do I realize, the arrogant heiress spends the entire agonizing night drowning in sleepless, boiling rage. Dawn breaks. Heading to her morning lecture, she slides into the luxury sedan, habitually checking her left side. The spot historically reserved for her loyal shadow is devastatingly vacant. Barely moments down the avenue, her luxurious ride cruises past my solitary figure strolling along. Her predatory stare instantly locks onto the beverage gripped in my fingers. Morning dairy has forever been my ultimate comfort ritual. 2 glass pints, gently heated in hot water daily, serving as my essential commute fuel. It's a deeply nostalgic flavor the young heiress has missed for lifetimes. 2 agonizing heartbeats pass before she breaks. Halt the vehicle. Leaning out the tinted glass, she issues a royal command, enter. I simply shake my head. I appreciate the gesture, young miss, but public transit suits me fine. Her unprecedented olive branch, completely destroyed by my casual rejection. A cold scoff escapes her lips. Do as you please. The vehicle roars away, leaving me to perfectly catch the arriving transit. Exactly as predicted, Ivy occupies a seat. My heart lightens as I approach her. Lovely morning to you, Ivy. She frantically scrambles to hide her screen, a mere heartbeat sooner, and I would have witnessed her secretly obsessing over my digital social feeds. I gently offer her the second heated beverage. Countless shared morning commutes have forged an incredibly natural, comforting chemistry between us. Unlocking her screen again, she proudly reveals snapshots of her vibrant flower beds. Stepping off at our stop, she suddenly pivots my way. You absolutely must visit my botanical oasis someday. I even maintain a charming koi pool. Suddenly, she freezes mid-sentence. An overwhelming chill strikes me simultaneously. Lifting my gaze, I collide with Stella's menacing crew, blocking the path. Destiny drags our 2 worlds violently closer. The heiress glares venomously at the heated beverage cradled in Ivy's delicate hands. Her crony throws a terribly wicked, mocking elbow into her ribs. Hey Stella, isn't that your pathetic driver's kid? The same stray dog that constantly chased your shadows? Seems the mutt finally found a new master. That mocking phrase hits the heiress like a physical blow. She remains completely oblivious that I carry memories of my past life too. Slicing her deadly gaze away from the glass bottle, an arctic sneer twists her lips. Refusing my royal carriage makes sense now. You upgraded your pathetic plaything. Am I suddenly beneath your notice? My face hardens. Miss Sterling, what are you even rambling about? Did I hit a nerve? Back at the manor, didn't you wait in the car for me every single morning? You always brought that milk for me, so why on earth is she holding it? Remembering my past pathetic self makes my stomach violently churn. I deeply regret ever loving Stella. What's her problem today? Stella drags her cold gaze over Ivy. You probably didn't realize he's just my family chauffeur's son. Humiliation threatens to swallow me whole. I'm so sorry, Ivy. She gently ruffles my hair. Don't apologize. You did nothing wrong. I know exactly how vicious Stella's wrath gets, but Ivy shouldn't suffer for it. Get to class, Ivy. Don't be late. Ivy frowns, eyes locked on mine. Who is she? 2 heavy seconds pass. She's completely delusional. Ivy hesitates, asking delicately, is she your girlfriend? Absolutely not. I scramble to distance myself from that nightmare. Stella sneers. As if I'd ever desire a chauffeur's son. Pure fury boils inside me. Right, you'd never glance at my kind. Then explain those 5 years you spent clinging to one? Who looked first? Honestly, if your brain is broken, go fix it. Across both my lifetimes, nobody had ever dared speak to Stella like that. She completely freezes, staring at me in pure shock. Stella falls dead silent. Ivy does too. I force my composure back, swallowing the humiliation. Catch you later, Ivy. I have class. You should hurry too. Without waiting for her reply, I spin around and sprint through the school gates. I couldn't bear to meet Ivy's gaze. In her eyes, I spotted raw shock and what looked dangerously like contempt. During my past life, loving Stella meant constantly enduring those judgmental glares. I was absolutely sick of living like that. Stella remains frozen, jaw painfully tight, glaring daggers at Ivy's retreating back. Ivy's expression mirrors that dark tension. Gripping the milk fiercely, she watches my silhouette vanish through the gates, then stalks away silently. We share a morning lecture today. I collapse into my desk chair, instantly opening my chat log with Ivy. Desperate to apologize, my fingers agonizingly hover and hesitate. I frantically type and erase sentences over and over, ultimately sending nothing because absolutely every word feels hopelessly inadequate. Right as I pocket my phone, a sudden notification from Ivy flashes on screen. What's going on? A horrifying realization crashes into me. I had been typing for almost 10 agonized minutes without sending a thing. She watched the typing bubble forever. My face burns crimson. Ivy, I am so sorry about that scene earlier. Please ignore it. She responds quickly. I told you, it's not your fault. Stop apologizing. Hot tears prick my eyes. Next to Stella's toxicity, Ivy is an absolute angel. After Stella's vicious outburst, Ivy must think the absolute worst of me. She undoubtedly assumes I am just a desperate loser chasing after every single girl breathing. Deep in my anxious thoughts, a sudden figure violently brushes past, rattling my entire desk. I glance up to see Stella marching past, her expression stone cold, heading toward the back row. She actually attended class today. She completely ditched Zane. Her crazy threats last night were actually real. Snapping out of it, I snatch up my phone. I capture a quick picture of Stella taking her seat and instantly forward it to Mrs. Sterling. She approved my surveillance, so I'm playing along. Less drama for my sanity. Stella barely settles in before Leah leans close, whispering, "Cole just snapped a picture of you." The icy tension melting from Stella's face is unmistakable. For the next 2 days, I am hyper-aware during every single class we share. I secretly snap another photo, dutifully reporting to her controlling mother. Mission accomplished perfectly. Unsurprisingly, wild rumors ignite that I am obsessively crushing on Stella and secretly stalking her with my camera. The campus chat explodes. Rico furiously scrolls through the chat room, reading the brutal comments aloud. They're claiming you are a complete maniac obsessed with Stella, not just pursuing her, but fully stalking her in class. Apparently, you sprint across campus between lectures just to get a creep shot. I am utterly dumbfounded. So that explains the judging glares in the hallways. The reality isn't even a fraction as dramatic. Some malicious snake is deliberately twisting this narrative. This is a massive, catastrophic misunderstanding. Miss High and Mighty was constantly skipping, so her overbearing mother ordered me to spy on her and send a daily photographic report. Rico stares at me in absolute horror. What kind of toxic parent does that? Cole, aren't you going to crush these rumors? The entire school has the wrong idea, and the trash they are spewing is absolutely vile. I just shake my head, knowing this ridiculous drama has an expiration date. In exactly 2 weeks, a massive family crisis will force Zane abroad. Once he vanishes, Stella's reason for skipping vanishes too. Her mother's paranoia will finally fade, and my miserable surveillance duties will officially end. But naturally, fate hates me. I bump straight into Stella during lunch hour. This terrible luck feels like a deeply personal curse from the universe. During my tragic past life, I practically had to engineer every single accidental encounter just to catch a glimpse of her face. Yet now, reborn and desperately dodging her, she is completely inescapable. You have been secretly photographing me for 2 days without saying a single word. I freeze. Stella shoots me a piercing glare. You saved my pictures to your private gallery, right? I meet her gaze coldly. You constantly skipped lectures. That is exactly why Madam Sterling forced this surveillance duty onto me. Now that you actually attend, her mother is satisfied. What else is there to say? And no, I haven't saved a single shot of you. Stella's gaze trembles, masking a sudden wave of bitter disappointment. You snapped all those pictures, but kept absolutely zero, she interrogates. Why would I? As some kind of lucky charm. Stella lets out a harsh, irritated scoff. I call bluff, Cole. You are obsessed with me. You just refuse to confess. In my previous life, at this exact moment, I truly did. But now, my feelings are dead. I slide out my screen, opening the direct chat with Madam Sterling. Refuse to believe me? Look for yourself. Stella fiercely snatches the device. The entire thread is just clinical proof of her attendance. Every single image is a terribly blurred, unrecognizable side profile. Not one single clear shot. Stella's beautiful face twists into instant stormy fury. You have absolute sheer nerve. You played her loyal spy, yet you could not even capture my face. Just how deeply do you despise looking at me? My expression remains completely frozen. Your face simply wastes my digital storage. Stella smirks maliciously. Then whose face is actually worthy? Ivy's? Why drag Ivy into our mess? Oh, Ivy? She mocks, stretching the syllables with venom. I am your senior too, you know? Why withhold that sweet respect from me? What secret relationship are you two hiding? I coldly reach back for my device. Our bond is absolutely none of your business. Stella's features contort with pure jealousy. She aggressively hurls my screen against the solid concrete. A sickening crack echoes. The glass entirely webs into shards. I quickly retrieve it. Have you completely lost your mind? My screen is ruined. You are compensating me. Expect the full invoice. I pray the great Sterling heiress will not evade her debts. I turn my back. Breathing her air is sheer torture. Stella fiercely stomps the ground. Damn it all. She was secretly thrilled, discovering my hidden camera lens. She genuinely believed I harbored a deep crush, using the surveillance as a desperate excuse to admire her. She hallucinated me endlessly, staring at her portraits in absolute secrecy. Now, Her blazing fury has nowhere to land but her own wounded ego. Meanwhile, I weave through the bustling food alley, heading straight toward the academy gates. Unknown to me, Ivy is dining nearby with her academy peers. Her bright eyes spot me instantly, yet she firmly bites her tongue. After exhausting hours inside the greenhouse lab, her uniform is totally splattered with dirty soil. She absolutely refuses to let me see her looking so messy. Plus, my dark aura screams trouble. She silently watches me vanish into the bustling crowd. Suddenly, she realizes her peers are throwing nasty glares my way. Is that the guy you mentioned? He appears so incredibly innocent. Unbelievable that he is a stalker. Ivy immediately snaps. What ridiculous rumors are these, stalker? You mean that Stella Sterling from the elite Ashford? The absolute center of academy gossip? Rumor says her lowly chauffeur's son harbors a sick, massive obsession with her. Attends our prestigious campus, taking creepy hidden shots of her daily. A gossiping peer proudly reveals a trending forum thread. Check this out. The Grand Sterling Heiress, merely 2 weeks into the semester, already targeted by a deranged secret admirer. And the culprit is definitely him. The malicious post vividly displays me, screen aimed directly at Stella's retreating figure. Ivy's thoughts flash to Stella's morning boasts. Does Cole actually desire that spoiled heiress? Her brow furrows with deep concern. Regardless of the hidden truth, this malicious scandal threatens Cole's future. She absolutely must erase this digital trash immediately. Upon returning to the academy gates, the viral rumors have reached my own feed. Yet suddenly, the threads vanish completely. Every single trace of my name is ruthlessly scrubbed from the web. Rico is absolutely speechless. Is this the terrifying scope of Sterling family power? Wiping the entire internet instantly? I glare at my dark screen, deeply unsettled. My instincts scream it was not Stella's doing. But if not her, then who? Day 3 arrives. I barely touch the lecture hall entrance before Stella arrogantly marches down the grand staircase. Today is Zane's birthday. I must secure him a luxury gift. You will distract my mother today. I promise I will play the perfect, saintly student tomorrow. She commands me with such breathtaking entitlement, as if serving her whims is my singular, pathetic purpose in this world. I calmly lift my lens, capturing her rebellious stance. Understood. You are dismissed. I launch the messaging app, aiming to directly forward this undeniable truancy evidence to Madam Sterling. Stella wildly lunges, forcefully swiping my device. Why act so utterly heartless? I literally just declared it is Zane's special day. I will return by 8. Is distracting my strict mother for one single day that difficult? Yes, I reply with absolute ice. Madam, Sterling is a terrifying force. My past life taught me that brutal lesson in blood. Stella's gaze suddenly flares with a sharp, arrogant glimmer of total victory. Yet you still fiercely deny craving me? Mentioning Zane's celebration just now, I witnessed the green, burning jealousy flash in your eyes. Oh, Miss Supreme Royalty, clinical narcissism is a serious disease. You really should seek urgent medical treatment, I reply, my tone dripping with winter frost. Stella tightens her grip on my device, pivots sharply, and marches away. Expect me at 8. You get your screen back then. I will handle my mother. She floors the gas and vanishes. Rage burning, I sprint right after her. The exhaust fades into nothing. Crushed between Mrs. Sterling and Stella, utter helplessness suffocates me. My resolve hardens. Dad must resign immediately, and I have to take extra part-time shifts to survive. Without my device, I cannot reach Mrs. Sterling. Returning home means facing a brutal interrogation. Worse yet, with no phone, scanning bus passes or paying for anything is impossible. Today, I desperately need Rico to unlock a rental bike for my escape. 3 days without seeing Ivy. I bet she will not reach out either. Meanwhile, Ivy calculates the perfect moment, stepping up to the bus stop. 10 agonizing minutes pass before she boards my usual route. The heavy doors open at our fateful stop. Ivy perks up, eyes locked on the entrance. But the doors slam shut. I never board. A crushing disappointment shadows her beautiful face. Ever since that chaotic morning we bumped into Stella, I have completely avoided taking this exact route. Is he dodging me, or pulling away simply because of Stella? Heart pounding wildly, she opens my orbit profile. Her fingers tremble typing a message. How is the neon Haworthia doing? Give it sunlight, but absolutely no direct exposure. The second it sends, agonizing anticipation kicks in. An entire morning drags by in absolute, deafening silence. Dusk falls, still no answer. Swallowing her pride after a fierce mental battle, Ivy double texts. Why the silence? You did not kill the plant, right? A vicious response strikes instantly. Stop messaging Cole. Ivy freezes completely. She fires back a single question mark. A brutal red exclamation point flashes. Cole actually blocked her. Wait, someone else has his phone. Who hijacked it? Stella. Does Cole secretly harbor genuine romantic feelings for her? Are those two hanging out together right now? Bidding Rico farewell, I furiously pedal the cheap rental bike homeward all alone. Stopped at a crimson light, Ivy glances from the bus and spots my struggling figure. Pure shock hits. He downgraded to a rental bike just to safely escape me. I am barely pedaling when a familiar voice cuts through the noisy street. A crisp, feminine tone, dripping with hidden sorrow. Suddenly, a soft hand grabs my handlebars, forcing my brakes to screech. I snap my head up, crashing into Ivy's intense gaze. Her face is an absolute mystery. Biking to school lately? That is such an exhausting journey. How long will you actually torture yourself? She desperately wonders, is this his ultimate escape plan to avoid me because of Stella? If that is his true reason, she will abandon this route forever. Blissfully unaware of the brutal blocking on my Orbit account, I blink. Ivy, why are you here? Just wandering, she lies, completely avoiding my gaze. Crazy coincidence. Hopping off the rusty frame, I match her pace. Time for the naked truth. Stella snatched my phone this morning. Left without a digital bus pass, I begged a buddy to unlock this bike. Been struggling home ever since. Ivy, who has been emotionally wrecked all day, is absolutely stunned by this wild revelation. Stella has it? I nod grimly. She kept ditching class, so Mrs. Sterling assigned me as her personal babysitter. Stella caught on, exploded in fury, and swiped my device to block any snitching. So that explains everything. A massive, overwhelming wave of pure relief washes through Ivy. Thank heaven she stepped off that bus to ask. Suddenly, tiny raindrops begin falling. Ivy glances at the weeping sky. Do not ride in this storm. Let us find shelter. Have you eaten? I give a nod. Yeah, I am full. Ivy pivots smoothly. Craving any bubble tea today? What a highly specific question. Nope, not today. Then let us go, my treat. The drizzle aggressively transforms into a steady downpour, sending everyone on the street sprinting. Her soft fingers grip my arm, dragging me forward. Near the towering mall entrance, a shivering crowd hugs the awning. Clinging to my wet sleeve, Ivy forcefully parts the sea of people. Inside the cozy shop, a strange, breathless silence descends upon us. Sitting shoulder to shoulder, we watch the teardrop rain blur the window pane. We have barely shared moments like this. Overwhelmed, I cannot force a single word out. Meanwhile, whatever secret thoughts swirl in Ivy's mind stay completely hidden. While Ivy dragged me through the storm, I remained utterly clueless. Across town, Stella's glamorous birthday date with Zane was catastrophically collapsing. Zane fully knows Stella is hopelessly obsessed. He has maliciously strung her along for ages without dropping a commitment. But recently, the dynamic cracked. A terrifying jealousy hit him. Stella genuinely cares about the lowly chauffeur's son far beyond his expectations. Panicking, he weaponizes his birthday to finally lock things down and claim Stella officially. Yet, hearing his grand confession, zero joy crosses her face. She stares blankly into the raging storm, her brow deeply knotted. Reaching into her stylish pocket, she retrieves a phone with its screen completely cracked and violently shattered. Zane zeroes in on it, internal alarms screaming. Stella, whose garbage device is that? Utterly distracted, she murmurs flatly. Cole's. The chauffeur's kid? Why do you hold his trash? Ignoring him completely, Stella taps the broken glass. 8:40 flashes brightly. That morning, she had snatched his phone to keep him from snitching to her mother about her skipping class for Zane. Now, it is late, and heavy rain falls. She has absolutely no clue how Cole will make it back. Her heart longs to stay beside Zane, but reality drags her home. Come back with me, she urges Zane softly. Stay the night. I will drive you tomorrow. Zane hesitates. He has not stepped foot in Sterling Manor since childhood. This bold invitation clearly means she wants to make things official. By the time they arrive, it is already 9 o'clock. Stella immediately commands the butler, tell Cole to come find me. Cole has not returned yet, the butler replies anxiously. Not back yet? A sudden flash of hot irritation flares within Stella. She rushed away from the hotel, promising to return his phone by 8. Yet, the very guy she hurried back for is completely missing. The butler quickly interjects. Miss, it is terribly late and raining relentlessly. Young Cole might not even have an umbrella. Let me call and track down his location. I will dispatch Mr. Morrow to pick him up right away. His call barely dials before the cracked phone in Stella's pocket lights up. She forcefully silences it. Do not even bother. He could just buy an umbrella. But then, the crushing realization strikes her. Without his device, he literally cannot pay for anything. She cannot simply abandon him to the storm. Fine, I will fetch him myself. The butler steps in, absolutely panicking. Miss, I beg you, do not. Madame Sterling has been waiting up all evening. Her absolute fury has been boiling all day. She could not reach you, nor could she reach me. And now, you casually strolled right in with Zane by your side. Madame Sterling is on the verge of exploding. The butler turns nervously. Mr. Zane, your guest room is fully prepared. Please head upstairs and rest. Zane turns toward Stella, his eyes pleading like a puppy. Stella, can I sleep in your room? The butler nearly chokes. The madam is already raging. This is pure gasoline on a blazing inferno. But Stella completely ignores his frantic warnings. Sorry, Zane. I must face my mother's wrath first. Head to my bedroom and make yourself completely comfortable. I will not be long. Meanwhile, Ivy and I are trapped in a cozy cafe. The torrential downpour shows zero signs of stopping. Ivy leans in smoothly. Instead of staring at walls, why not catch a movie upstairs? I internally panic. Are we at that level? Is watching a movie together completely normal? Ivy, you seriously do not have to wait with me. I will survive until the storm passes. Did you forget the creep on the bus? Her voice turns serious. It is late. You have zero communication. That is incredibly dangerous. Were you planning to pedal home in the pitch black? Ivy locks eyes with me, her gaze radiating a fierce, quiet authority. Overwhelmed by her intensity, I instinctively shake my head. She stands up with perfect determination. Then, let us go. To that popular animated masterpiece. Have you seen it yet? Something feels entirely orchestrated, but before my mouth can open, her fingers are flying across her glowing screen. Next showing is in 20 minutes. Tickets are secured. Do you want some popcorn? No, wait, maybe not. My brain is totally short-circuiting against her overwhelming pace. 1 second, she is casually floating the idea. The very next second, tickets are secured. Fine, no popcorn. Let us head up. Defeated, I open my mouth, shut it, and obediently follow. Watching my flustered obedience, a wonderfully warm feeling flutters within Ivy's chest. She freely admits it. She has been completely shameless today. I am precisely her ideal type. From that very first fateful glance on the crowded bus, the gears of destiny violently clicked. She crafted a master plan for a slow, steady romance. But reality changes everything. Now, she desperately wants to accelerate this heart-racing connection. The movie ends before 11. The monstrous storm faded to a gentle drizzle. Ivy casts a distinctly guilty look. I practically forced you through an entire film. I never expected it to get this late. Will your family panic? I gently shake my head. I secretly called my father using your device earlier. He is not worried. Honestly, the movie was an absolute visual masterpiece. For 2 blissful hours, I completely forgot the suffocating walls of Sterling Manor, but now I must return and face the madam's absolute fury. Ivy whips out her screen. Returning to Sterling Manor? Give me the exact address. I will summon a cab. At 11, I finally arrive home. Stepping into the mist, I lean back to sincerely thank Ivy and say goodnight. A heavy guilt crushes my chest. Ivy is an absolute angel. I watch the taillights vanish into the fog before finally turning to face the daunting iron gates. I step inside the courtyard and my soul practically leaves my body. A shadowy figure lurks dead ahead. My heart violently leaps. Out of the gloom emerges Stella, her expression darker than the night sky, glaring absolute daggers. Miss Sterling, why are you out here? Her voice is ice. I clearly ordered you back by 8. Why are you so damn late? Lately, her entire suffocating attitude has felt dangerously toxic and unstable. Miss Sterling, my schedule is my personal business. You do not require a status report. Now, hand over my stolen phone. The raw irritation burning in my eyes causes a strange, sharp ache within Stella's heart. She withdraws the device, yet refuses to surrender it. Instead, her face hardens into stone as she demands fiercely, "Whose hat are you wearing?" I blink, realizing Ivy's cap is still on my head. Oh, it poured relentlessly tonight. Unable to buy an umbrella without my phone, an incredibly sweet upperclassman graciously lent me her favorite hat. I snatch my phone back from her grip. Stella's mind races to the girl on the bus. Just a kind senior? Yeah, right. A hat worth thousands. Just casually handed over? She must be incredibly generous. I freeze in my tracks. Thousands of dollars? Stella smirks, her gaze dripping with mockery. So that is why you stopped riding with me. You found a richer target to leech off of. Think whatever you want, I reply with a hollow laugh. If insulting me strokes your ego, Consider it my daily charity work. Stella's expression darkens completely. Cole used to be so painfully gentle. When did he become so utterly cold? She already had a massive blowout with Madame Sterling tonight over bringing Zane home. The shouting match ended with slamming doors, only for her to realize I was still missing. She could not reach me, completely forgetting about Zane waiting anxiously upstairs. So, she waited at the gates, only to receive this bitter reality. Walking inside, I spot Zane lurking near the garden entrance, clearly waiting for someone. He hurries over to Stella. "Stella, I heard the vicious argument with your mother. She threatened to throw me out. You were gone so long. The isolation terrified me. Maybe it is best you send me home tonight. I cannot stay here. Your mother is furious." Watching from the shadows, I marvel that Stella actually brought Zane back to the manor. Madame Sterling must be seconds from a heart attack. Stella pulls Zane into a protective embrace. "You are not leaving. I brought you into this house. She has zero right to banish you. Follow me. If she dares to speak against us, I will complain straight to grandfather." Only with that vow does Zane finally exhale. Watching Stella completely blinded by love, I honestly wonder if she has lost her sanity. I turn away, heading to my room. Pulling out my phone to check Ivy's social profile, I realize her account has completely vanished. Suddenly, a new friend request pops up. It is Ivy asking to connect. I frown deeply. When did I ever delete her? This petty sabotage screams Stella. I hit accept and instantly shoot her a text message. "Ivy, did you make it home safely?" Her swift reply chimes. "You finally rescued your phone. I am home safely. Thanks for asking." Hesitating slightly, I transfer $200 to her. "Thank you for everything today, Ivy. This covers the movie tickets and the taxi ride. Please accept this." Ivy instantly rejects the money. "Do not pay me back. Just treat me to dinner or a movie next time. Deal? Deal. Dinner tomorrow." My treat. A gentle smile graces Ivy's lips. Perfect. It is a promise. The following dawn, the real drama at Sterling Manor begins. Madame Sterling wakes at dawn, instantly summoning the head butler. What occurred last night? Zane never left the grounds? They shared a room overnight? The butler nods with a pained expression. Miss Stella forbade us from kicking him out. Madame Sterling's face drains, pale with sheer absolute fury. Stella dating is fine, but I refuse to permit a pregnancy. His father is facing hard prison time. What an absolute disaster of a bloodline. No grandchild of mine will ever share blood with a convicted felon. Madame Sterling stews in dark thoughts, her eyes finally snapping up. Fetch the family doctor immediately. We need a special prescription. As I step out of my bedroom, I catch the maids whispering in the hallway. Madame Sterling is surprisingly cheerful today. I expected an explosion when Mr. Zane came down, but they are sharing breakfast peacefully. A deeply complicated shadow crosses my face. In my previous life, Stella never brought Zane home. They never made it official, not until he fled the country. And shortly after that, Stella and I began dating. During my very first visit to Sterling Manor as her boyfriend, Madame Sterling was sickeningly sweet, inviting me to stay for dinner. I foolishly believed her acceptance. Instead, she slipped poison into my food. And when Stella discovered the horrifying truth, she merely claimed she could not defy her mother, ending my tragedy with a single pathetic sentence. That was all my life meant. Now, the new target is Zane. I wonder what Stella will do. Shaking off the grim memories, I head downstairs. The butler suddenly blocks my path. "Cole, Madame Sterling demands a word. Follow me immediately." I follow him into the grand hall. Madame Sterling is dining at the long table alongside Zane and Stella. Madame Sterling gazes at Zane with chillingly perfect warmth. "I never had any personal grudge against you. I only worry because Stella is so young. I simply fear young love might disrupt her studies." Her attitude has taken a complete, terrifying 180-degree reversal. Zane looks visibly stunned by the warmth. "Of course, ma'am. I promise to keep Stella completely focused on her studies." The ironic truth? Despite sharing a bed last night, Stella refused to let Zane lay a single finger on her. Madame Sterling gently slides a bowl of luxury porridge toward Zane, her eyes brimming with fake motherly affection. "Eat up, you look far too thin." Zane smiles gratefully and dutifully begins eating the deadly meal. Beside him, Stella frowns deeply in confusion. Zane is sitting right beside her. Her mother seemingly accepted his presence, yet a creeping sense of dread leaves her deeply unsettled. Then, I step into the room. The instant Stella spots me, her posture stiffens immediately. Ignoring her entirely, I bow politely to the madam. "You requested my presence?" Madame Sterling smiles with pleasant venom. "I heard about yesterday's little drama. Stella confiscated your phone to stop your photo updates. Is that so?" I nod, masking my emotions perfectly. Stella's forehead creases in sheer annoyance. "Mother, You aren't forcing him to shadow me anymore, right? Madam Sterling gently shakes her head. Heavens, no. I simply meant you shouldn't be so harsh to Cole. Confiscating his phone was terribly cruel. With a practiced, graceful motion, she reveals a pristine, untouched smartphone. Your screen was completely ruined, so I bought you a replacement. A small reward for guarding my daughter lately. But your watch ends today. Zane will take over as her protector. Swallowing his porridge, Zane flashes a dazzling, confident grin. Rest easy, ma'am. I'll keep her safe. Deep down, a bitter laugh echoes in my chest. Yet, I maintain a flawless smile. My deepest thanks, madam. I must head to class. Instantly, Stella shoots up from her seat. Time is slipping away. I am leaving too. Zane tries to stand, but suddenly, his hands violently clutch his gut. All color vanishes from his face. Stella, it burns, she gasps. Stay with me. We are going to the emergency room. Driver, speed to the hospital, right now. Catching Zane's agonizing reflection in the mirror, the chauffeur hesitates. Young Master Zane, did you consume something toxic? Panic bleeds into Zane's trembling voice. Impossible. I only ate the bird's nest stew. Turning toward Stella, his tormented eyes widen in horrifying disbelief. A chilling shadow falls over Stella's face. The suppressed memories of her previous timeline suddenly crash over her. The haunting recollection of bringing me home to meet her mother resurfaces. That night, I had collapsed in the exact same agonizing torment. It took 3 agonizing days of testing to discover I was severely drugged. An explosive argument had torn us apart. She actually believed I poisoned myself. I rightfully blamed her mother, but she called me a liar. Now, watching Zane writhe, the devastating truth mirrors my past suffering perfectly. Gasping for breath, Zane whispers, Stella, was that stew tainted? Halt the car, Stella commands fiercely. Take him to the ward, I will follow. With blazing fury, she marches straight back to the manor. Madam Sterling is elegantly ordering the maids to clean up. Stella pierces the closest servant with a deadly glare. Stop. Do not touch Zane's bowl. Her mother blinks in shock as Stella's tone plummets into a terrifying abyss. Confess, did you drug his food? She scoffs. Stella, your romantic delusions are blinding you. You are utterly hopeless. A simple stomach bug, and you accuse your own flesh and blood of attempted murder? The absolute audacity to suspect me. Like a striking snake, those identical manipulative words from her past life echo again. In that vanished timeline, Stella blindly trusted her mother. Now, a suffocating tsunami of crushing guilt shatters her soul. 5 long years together, never once conceiving, Madam Sterling had feigned acceptance of my lowly status. She promised marriage, but bound us with one twisted requirement, producing a grandchild first. Stella gasps for air, trembling. Right. You are my mother. You could never commit such atrocities. Just today, you granted Zane and me your blessing. You promised us a future wedding under one specific rule. We must deliver a child beforehand. Is that it? The matriarch freezes, terror flashing in her eyes. How could she know? Reading that guilty expression, Stella's world shatters. What kind of monster are you? How could you be so demonic? I saw this tempest brewing, but I could not care less. In this second life, the Sterling family's twisted fate means nothing to me. Stepping onto the transit, my eyes naturally seek out Ivy. Like destiny, she sits in the back, her gaze already waiting for mine. I navigate the aisle to reach her side. Morning, Ivy. Her bright eyes soften instantly. Morning, regarding your cap. I took it home yesterday. I laundered it, but it needs more time. I will bring it back tomorrow. A gentle, heart-fluttering smile graces her lips. Take your time. Any lectures later, Cole? I slowly shake my head. None, but my evening shift at the bistro awaits. A moonlighting gig? Where at? I reply casually. A place named Ember and Salt. You might know it. Ivy suddenly freezes. Know it? Her own aristocratic family practically built that establishment. As we step onto the pavement, she turns to me curiously. Working there every single night? I nod confidently. Yes, 7 to 9. She acknowledges this silently, hiding a secret smile. We part paths toward our academies. Unsurprisingly, Stella's desk remains completely empty for the entire day. Honestly, I doubt she will show her face on campus anytime soon after that devastating revelation. Zane will be bedridden for at least 3 days. Then, he escapes overseas with his mother. Before my regression, Stella cursed him forever for vanishing without warning. That unseen scar plagued her for a lifetime. In this timeline, at least she receives a proper farewell. Once lectures end, Rico practically vibrates with juicy rumors. Dude, the gossip chats are exploding. Ridgemont Tech's Golden Boy and Stella are officially dating. Witnesses even caught them lurking around the Sterling Medical Center. Rico leans in, his voice dropping to a breathless whisper. Rumor has it, Zane suffered a severe allergic reaction to his medication. He is hooked up to an IV. Rico shakes his head, utterly bewildered. Who could have ever imagined? High society is truly a different world. I freeze, completely bewildered. Your gossip circle discovered all this? Down to the exact prescription. Does Sterling Hospital lack any concept of patient privacy? Rico smirks like a shadow broker holding absolute truth. Cole, you severely underestimate the terrifying weight of obsession. Sterling shares ownership there. Plus, Stella boasts endless wealthy suitors, every single one burning with bitter envy toward Zane. They are desperate for his downfall. When that many powerful heirs dig for secrets, no shadow is deep enough. That chilling logic tracks. During my previous life's hospitalization, vicious rumors devoured my reputation with equal terrifying speed. The lowly chauffeur's boy plotting to seduce the Sterling heiress, that exact toxic narrative. Ultimately, the lies mutated. They claimed my university scores were forged, declaring I stole another student's identity to enroll. I release a heavy breath. Do not get involved, Rico. Eavesdrop if you must, but maintain your absolute distance. The Sterling family crushes those who speak carelessly. Rico simply nods, his eyes glued to his glowing screen. Relax, I know the boundary. Stella vanishes from campus and the estate. 2 blissful days of absolute tranquility follow, until fate intervenes. Our paths finally cross again during my evening shift at the Ember and Salt restaurant. Dressed in my black uniform, I clear tables. Stella suddenly enters alongside Tara and Claire, demanding a VIP room. Striding down the corridor, Stella's piercing gaze locks onto my tray. Tara immediately raises an amused brow. Stella, look, Cole serves tables now. Is he truly that destitute? Claire sharply elbows her. Shut your mouth and walk. Reading the storm brewing in Stella's dark expression, Tara wisely falls silent. These past 48 hours have destroyed Stella's composure. Zane endured 2 grueling days on intravenous fluids. The physician confirmed the toxic dosage inflicted catastrophic internal damage. He requires intense rehabilitation. Worst of all, his ability to produce an heir is temporarily, yet absolutely, ruined. Medical professionals estimate 1 to 2 years. But Stella holds a darker truth. In her previous timeline, Cole remained sterile for 5 agonizing years. Should Zane suffer the same cursed fate, he will inevitably uncover her deception. How could she possibly defend herself? Zane leaves the ward today for home rehabilitation. Stella fiercely guarded Madam. Sterling's sinister involvement. She dreads explaining the unexplainable, terrified of facing his exhausted, profoundly hollow gaze. Amidst this suffocating despair, an overwhelming desperation to see Cole consumes her soul. Watching him gracefully serve guests from afar, speaking with gentle patience, a blazing inferno ignites deep within Stella's heart. Jaw clenched tight, she abandons her friends, marching directly toward my station. Meanwhile, I remain trapped by an insufferable patron. Ignoring the menu, this woman interrogates me constantly. A fresh face? I have never seen you here. Some struggling university kid from nearby? Maintaining a polite customer service smile, I nod. Yes, madam. Your order? A condescending smirk stretches across her face. So young yet serving tables, drowning in massive student debts, right? Can you even afford survival? My professional facade starts cracking, though I perfectly regulate my breathing. My finances are completely irrelevant here, madam. Please review our selections, and I shall return shortly for your final decision. As I pivot away, her shrill voice pierces the air. Hold it! Who said I refused to order? Is this your so-called premium service? Only 2 days employed, and this arrogant nightmare tests my absolute limits. Seeking management becomes irrelevant when an icy-faced Stella suddenly materializes. In total silence, her vicious kick launches the heavy table skyward. Stumbling backward, I stare at this explosive chaos in sheer disbelief. Madam, what madness is this? Lunging forward to drag her back, Stella stubbornly blocks my path. Her murderous, unblinking glare locks onto the terrified patron. Eat your food, or leave immediately. The furious older woman leaps upward, violently pointing a shaking finger. Mind your own pathetic business. You shattered my dinner setup. Do you realize who you just offended? 2 intimidating companions flank her, presenting a united, threatening front against Stella. But Stella's weeks of suppressed rage finally violently erupt. Zero hesitation. Her ruthless fist connects flawlessly with the harpy's jaw. I stand paralyzed as pure mayhem instantly detonates. Hearing the crash, Tara and Claire sprint over. Spitting a vicious curse, Tara eagerly plunges straight into the battlefield. Claire charges blindly behind her, transforming the elegant dining room into a war zone. I snatch the emergency radio, frantically summoning management. The panicked floor manager sprints inside, closely trailed by 5 massive security guards. It demands their absolute maximum strength to pry the brawlers apart. Our arrogant patron now sports a bloody, split lip, and blackened eye. Stella ignored those two entirely. Her sole prey was this woman. Now, the arrogant customer's expensive clothes are totally shredded. She boils with absolute rage. I am calling the police. The chaotic clash sends literal shockwaves everywhere. Everyone freezes. Anxious whispers flood the room. Manager Ross sprints from his office in pure panic. His eyes instantly lock onto Stella amid the massive crowd. His stomach completely drops, rushing over with wide, terrified eyes. Miss Sterling, what brings you here? You never called ahead! A fearful tremor shakes his voice. Elites of Stella's legendary status hold permanently reserved private suites here. As a legendary premium member, Stella remains Manager Ross's most fiercely protected VIP guest. He simply cannot let this chaotic incident destroy their crucial relationship. But as his eyes finally land on Stella, his face drains white. Cold sweat drenches his forehead. Her perfect hair is totally ruined. Her clothes are shredded. She clearly just fought a brutal brawl. Who in their right mind dares strike the almighty Sterling heiress? Manager Ross feels his heart hammering wildly. What? What exactly happened here? His shaky voice bleeds sheer panic. He knows the terrifying truth. Stella is Madame Sterling's most fiercely protected treasure. If Madame Sterling discovers her precious daughter fought in his restaurant and took a literal hit, the apocalyptic consequences are completely unthinkable. Madame Sterling will rain absolute fury upon this place. She might arrive personally to demand bloody answers. The obnoxious woman keeps shrieking, "You are the manager, perfect timing. I was just sitting here, completely minding my own business, enjoying a peaceful dinner. First, your trashy server completely disrespects me. Then, his psycho friend actually beats me up. I am filing a police report. I am suing this entire restaurant." Manager Ross turns, his harsh gaze piercing me. I open my mouth to explain, but Stella instantly steps up. Her eyes lock onto the screaming woman, stone cold. This has nothing to do with him. I struck you because you are an absolute eyesore. Sue me if you dare. Try it. Tara rubs her brow, smoothly pulling out her smartphone. Fine, whatever. I will summon elite lawyers to handle this garbage. We are starving. We are eating right now. Manager Ross instantly reads the room. These terrifying girls remain untouchable. Making a rapid snap decision, he signals security to escort the furious women into the back office. Then, his firm voice drops dangerously low. Come here. Listen closely. You must take flawless care of Miss Sterling. 0 mistakes allowed. Understood perfectly, Manager Ross. He releases a trembling breath of pure relief. Then, he swiftly turns, striding after those 3 furious women. They vanish into the office. He knows exactly what this nightmare is. A dangerous crisis that cannot escalate. If it escalates, it ruins more than the restaurant's reputation. It brings absolute destruction upon his own life. Above everything else, he simply cannot afford crossing a terrifying powerhouse like the Sterlings. So, his smartest survival tactic is starting with those 3 battered women. Sit them down and carefully negotiate a hefty compensation package. Bury this massive scandal instantly. Pay extra cash if required. That remains infinitely better than making a deadly enemy out of the almighty Sterlings. Ember and Salt operates strictly as a members-only sanctuary, enforcing ironclad confidentiality standards. Wealthy elites and top celebrities choose it for secret dining and high-stakes deals. Renting a meeting room costs 5 whole figures daily. Anyone craving business with the true elite knows this is the ultimate battleground. If rumors leaked about a premium member getting assaulted, the sheer damage to this sanctuary's legendary reputation would be utterly devastating. The anxious supervisor trails Manager Ross, murmuring softly, "What about that useless new intern?" Manager Ross feels totally overwhelmed. Technically, this nightmare was the customer's fault, but this intern provoked massive drama on day 1. He waves an impatient hand. Fine, just pay his wages and banish him forever. The supervisor nods firmly. Understood completely. He marches out seeking me, but I have already vanished like a ghost. Asking around, he discovers I know Stella. Apparently, she already summoned me straight into her exclusive private suite. He creeps towards Stella's door. Through the heavy wood, her fierce voice echoes clearly. I hit that trash. So what? Cole, are you seriously daring to scold me right now? I was protecting you. Did you actually want her paying your pathetic student loans? Oh, so that is who you are. Speechless, I stare back, keeping my tone measured. Miss Sterling, I am not blaming you, but today's chaotic situation completely spiraled out of control. When we return home, Madam Sterling will inevitably hunt me down again. Mentioning Madam Sterling makes Stella violently slam her palm against the table. A sharp bang echoes. Tara frowns deeply. Stella, calm down. She laughs coldly, glaring at me. Cole, do you blindly obey my mother? Whatever she commands, you mindlessly execute? My perfect, spineless compliance sparks a wild, unnamed fury deep within Stella's heart. She thinks bitterly. Such a tragic shame. Cole was never reborn. He holds zero memory of Madam Sterling's past life cruelty, the brutal physical damage, the devastating loss of his own fertility. If he found out, he would never submit like this. My expression remains perfectly unreadable. Mrs. Sterling isn't the reason I'm yielding. Honestly, my soul is just completely drained. I only demand your drama to cease so Mrs. Sterling stops suffocating my life. Listen carefully, Stella. Your chaotic, privileged world means absolutely nothing to me anymore. If you could just vanish from my sight permanently, that would be an absolute blessing. Stella's gaze burns crimson, piercing through me. You only speak poison to break my heart. I refuse to believe this. Once upon a time, she was my absolute priority. Sleep before midnight. Avoid the heavy drinking. Stop going head-to-head against your parents. My devotion to her was genuinely boundless. During her hospital days, I became her sleepless guardian. She consumed my entire soul. She was my universe. But today, Stella just stares at me, trembling. You are playing cruel mind games just to hurt me, right, Cole? Believe whatever comforts your delusion, I reply, absolutely unfazed. Miss Sterling, my shift isn't over. My job awaits. Stepping into the hall, I immediately freeze. The floor manager is blocking my path, wearing a terrifyingly grim expression. His posture screams utter discomfort. Cole, are you acquainted with her? I nod, rubbing my neck. No campus. No campus. The supervisor senses our twisted history goes far beyond classmates, but gracefully swallows his probing, uncomfortable questions. A heavy pause falls before he whispers, Cole, this battlefield chaos just ruined our establishment's reputation. The boss remains clueless, but a brutal reckoning is inevitable. You are merely a disposable intern. You hold no personal blame, yet your termination is unavoidable starting tomorrow. His soft words deliver a devastating, harsh reality check. The tragic message was crystal clear, fired before even 2 days had passed. A shocking blow, yet perfectly fitting for my cursed fate. My maiden voyage into the working world, utterly shipwrecked. Suffocating despair threatens to drown my spirit, but I forcefully bite it back and maintain my stoic facade. My deepest apologies, sir, I murmur. You graciously offered me an opportunity, and I repaid your kindness with absolute disaster. He frantically dismisses my guilt. Stop apologizing, kid. Your innocence is obvious, but this vicious service industry demands a sacrificial lamb tonight. Our VIPs wield terrifying, elite influence. In this cruel hierarchy, peasants simply bleed. Certain venues even offer a suffering bonus. That alone reveals the soul-crushing abuse minimum wage warriors are forced to silently endure within this toxic industry. Back inside the VIP lounge, golden shadows press down heavily. The very atmosphere reeks of a suffocating, intensely toxic tension. Stella remains frozen like a glacial queen, masking a raging volcano beneath her skin. She just survived a completely savage, brutal bloodbath. Her trembling knuckles are torn wide open. Crimson life essence drips relentlessly, painting a genuinely horrifying picture. A violent violet shadow stains her delicate lips, the undeniable signature of a brutal, unforgiving strike. The rising welt gives her an intensely ferocious aura. A trembling waiter hastily presents a freezing compress. He timidly submits the relief pack, gesturing for her to apply it. Her loyal followers hover closely, bearing violent claw marks across their hands and necks. Ugly trophies of the chaotic brawl, yet nothing compared to their leader's damage. Stella's ruined visage is a spectacular disaster that demands absolute attention. Her loyal companions protected their complexions perfectly, suffering only a few minor scrapes. They look utterly untouched by the war. Stella furiously hurls the freezing pack across the sleek tabletop, rejecting the relief. The violent smash shatters the room's suffocating silence. A terrifying shadow completely consumes her features. Her tone drops to an absolute sub-zero chill. He witnessed my bloody battle for his honor, watched my flesh tear. Yet he offered absolutely zero comfort for my blinding pain. Her furious whisper drips with shattered ego and agonizing, profound isolation. Even this basic medical relief came from a complete stranger. Cole completely abandoned her. Zero hesitation. An invisible boulder crushes Stella's lungs, stealing every single breath. Memories of her previous timeline flood her racing senses. Cole's absolute unwavering devotion. His constant, comforting shadow permanently stationed right beside her. A single scratch used to make his eyes swim with blinding panic. Salty drops would stream down his face, completely uncontrollable and raw. He would sprint for medical supplies, treating her wounds with religious devotion. His trembling fingers were absolutely terrified of causing her even a microsecond of pain. During her parents' raging storms of abuse, he stood guard like a silent sentinel. Emerging from hell, she always found his soothing sanctuary waiting. Back in that timeline, the meaningless part-time grind was utterly irrelevant. His universe possessed only one son, her. A violent shockwave strikes Stella's core. This new timeline is fracturing completely out of control. Destiny has totally derailed. Did Cole regress alongside her? The terrifying theory blooms, only to be violently crushed down without hesitation. Utterly ridiculous. But a darker realization whispers in her mind. A regressed Cole would harbor infinite, burning hatred for Mrs. Sterling. He would never tolerate dwelling in that cursed mansion, nor would he bow like a dog to her cruel commands. Suddenly, Tara's brow furrows with intense anxiety. Stella, your rampage today was absolute suicidal madness. Do you grasp whose territory this is? It belongs to the terrifying Sioux family. If their wrath reaches your father, it triggers an apocalyptic disaster on a whole new scale. Raw panic trembles in her warning. The arrogant queen freezes completely. A sudden realization struck like lightning. The Sioux family owned this place. Ivy's face instantly haunted her thoughts. Wait, that Sioux dynasty? Is she truly connected to them? Tara gave a slow nod, leveraging her family's ancestral knowledge. She held absolute mastery over this realm. If a restaurant breathed in Hai Chen, she knew its deepest secrets. Leaning closer, she whispered the truth. That empire rules over artificial intelligence and boundless clean energy, absolute titans of industry. Yet seemingly out of nowhere, they fiercely invaded the culinary battlefield just years ago. Rumor has it, a pampered young heir demanded it, and their dynasty blindly poured in endless wealth. Are her strings pulled by that girl? Who can say? But sharing that legendary name, fate loves playing twisted games. Claire's brow furrowed in deep disbelief. That makes no sense. Their monstrous empire swallows countless industries whole. Would they truly let their golden child play in the dirt? Isn't that Ivy just studying basic farming? It defies all elite logic. True heirs are forged in the ruthless fires of their empire's main operation. Farming is utterly beneath them. Tara tapped her chin, lost in shadows. I truly cannot say. Our bloodlines never crossed paths with those titans. Their throne doesn't rest in Hai Chen. Northport is their fortress of power. Growing up trapped in Hai Chen's bubble, Stella's elite clique remained completely blind to the legendary youth of that dynasty. Yet, a silent consensus gripped all three girls. It simply couldn't be her. What supreme aristocratic bloodline abandons their princess to literal farm work? Utterly laughable and completely insane, absorbing these whispers. Stella shot up from her chair. Let me check the halls, she muttered darkly. She marched out, her hurried footsteps betraying her inner turmoil. A suffocating quiet swallowed the private room. Claire nervously rubbed her temple, leaning in to whisper. Doesn't her obsession with Cole feel completely twisted? She probed carefully, watching Tara's face instantly darken. Heavy irritation bled into her voice. She's dangling both of them, clinging desperately to Zane while refusing to sever ties with Cole. Playing this dangerous game, she will ultimately shatter both bonds. The regret will completely crush her. A storm of complex emotions swirled in her gaze. A bitter, overwhelming disappointment toward her friend. Claire caught the dangerous shift. The last threads of Tara's loyalty were snapping, but she swallowed her words. A heavy, solitary sigh escaped her lips. Meanwhile, hidden away in the staff quarters, I finally stripped off that uniform. Folding the fabric with mechanical precision, I secured my locker. It was time to vanish from this place. The glowing screen illuminated my scowl. Notifications flooded my vision. An avalanche of frantic texts from Stella. She literally hunted me down using an alternate account. Where vanished? Are you still entangled with Ivy? Did she secure this position for you? Stop taking public transit. Mr. Morrow will chauffeur you now. I stared at the digital madness, bewildered. Before my regression, she loathed my existence, treating me like absolute trash. claiming I only shared rides to beg for her gaze. Yet now that I walked away, she loses her mind? Why drag Ivy into her chaotic delusions? None of this concerns her. Dismissing the drama, I pocketed the device and abandoned the cursed restaurant. Back inside, Stella hunted me like a desperate predator. Panic widened her gaze as she found empty air. A horrifying nightmare pierced her thoughts. Did Ivy steal him away? Using her family's absolute power. As that dark delusion took root, a phantom grip mercilessly crushed her lungs. Frantic energy boiled over. Her composure completely shattered into pieces. The lavish feast turned to flavorless ash. Her appetite evaporated into nothingness. What was once a VIP sanctuary had transformed into a suffocating prison cell. Remaining seated felt like burning alive. Dragging her loyal childhood companions along, she forced them into the chaotic main hall. Only lifelong ties kept them anchored through these toxic, unpredictable emotional storms. Any ordinary person would have fled from her emotionally explosive tantrums. Claire studied her friend's vacant, soul-crushed stare. Breaking the unbearable tension, she summoned staff for a new order, then casually interrogating, "Where is that Ashford intern? He shares our homeroom, actually. Did his shift end early?" Explanations were honestly pointless. The entire staff had witnessed their dramatic, intertwined fate. After all, an explosive brawl over him had just entertained the entire dining floor. Leaning closer, the worker whispered a dark truth. He left forever. Following that violent incident, management swiftly terminated him. Pity dripped from the confession. Absolute shock paralyzed Claire's features. Her eyes instantly darted toward Stella's trembling frame. Wait, he actually got fired? The words slip out, sharp and loud. The server's grim nod confirms the total disaster. Tara's expression darkens instantly. She shoots Stella a deadly glare. "Stella, you completely crossed the line this time. Cole just started this gig. He was desperately trying to stand on his own 2 feet. And Stella's reckless tantrum just ruined everything. His entire world must be absolutely shattered." A flicker of guilt crosses Stella's face, but she quickly masks it with ice. Whatever. This complicated place was totally beneath him anyway. She sounds totally confident, but her trembling gaze betrays her. Her anxious mind is racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Why was he even slaving away in a place like this? Does her family really pay Mr. Morrow that little? So little that Cole had to grind extra shifts just to survive? Stella keeps talking tough to hide her massive panic, but her heart is pounding out of her chest. She fidgets anxiously, suffocating in the tension. Finally, she completely snaps. She shoots up from her chair and marches toward the exit to hunt me down. But Tara suddenly blocks the door. Tara glares back with a stone-cold intensity that demands absolute silence. "Stella, stop chasing Cole right now. Zane just left the hospital. You belong by his side instead." Tara knows Stella has been ruthlessly stringing both boys along. This toxic love triangle is violently destroying everyone involved. Stella's expression twists into pure venom. "Why the hell are you standing in my way? Why shouldn't I go to him? Is this about those flowers he handed you at the showcase? Did you actually fall for my guy?" Her voice drips with paranoid jealousy, accusing her best friend. Tara's eyebrows pull together in deep, heavy frustration. Tara's aura turns completely freezing. Her voice drops to a heavy whisper. "Stella, listen to your own absolute madness. You are totally losing it. Just breathe." Tara sees it clearly. Whenever Cole is involved, Stella turns into an absolute monster, completely reckless. Her elegant mask shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. Stella has always been the arrogant ice queen, never giving a single damn about anyone else's feelings. That selfish cruelty leaves everyone around her bleeding, and she is totally blind to the massive damage. She never learns. She just bulldozes through lives for her own desires. Stella scoffs, her eyes blazing with pure superiority. "Mind your own business. I make my own rules." She violently rips her arm away from Tara's tight grip. She storms to her sports car, revs the engine, and peels out. Claire watches in shock. "Tara, since when do you fight her? You know how she gets. If you push her, she just bites back much harder." Claire pauses, looking deeply confused. "You always stay out of the dramatic mess. What exactly came over you today?" Tara falls totally silent. "I just could not stand by anymore. Her toxic games are going to destroy completely innocent people." She does not have to say the name out loud. Claire knows exactly who the tragic victim is. Cole. Claire stares at her friend, her deep suspicion growing. Something about Tara's dark vibe is completely different today. She is always the silent shadow in the background. So why is she suddenly playing the fierce, brave protector? I stumble away from that cursed restaurant, my chest suffocating with pure frustration, marching straight toward the lonely bus stop. Waiting under the rusted shelter, I tilt my head back and stare into the endless void. The streetlights buzz to life. Their dim orange glow washes over my exhausted features, highlighting a deeply hollow kind of terrible loneliness. Suddenly, a red sports car tears down the street like a raging storm, slamming its brakes right in front of me. Stella emerges. The dark bruise on her lip is a glaring reminder of the chaos, but the vicious fire in her eyes has finally died down. Now, her gaze holds something much more complicated, a messy storm of desperate urgency and deep, painful confusion. She practically runs to me, totally breathless. "Why did you ignore my texts?" she whispers. "Did you miss them, or just ignore me?" Beneath her arrogant tone lies a fragile, almost heartbreaking vulnerability. I slowly turn my heavy head to face her, but my dark gaze is an absolute void. No emotion, no warmth, just freezing ice. I look at her as if she were a total stranger. "Miss Sterling," I state coldly, "can I actually help you?" My voice is dead calm, but it slashes through the air like a frozen blade. It violently pierces straight through Stella's heart. Facing such brutal indifference deeply wounds her fragile pride. She absolutely cannot handle my freezing detachment. Her face twists in agony. A flash of fierce rage burns in her expression, masking a deeply wounded resentment. "Cole," she murmurs darkly, "I literally fought for you. Do you seriously have nothing to say?" Her voice cracks with desperate volume, begging for my attention. Her ridiculous entitlement hits me like a brick wall. The dark annoyance building in my chest suddenly boils over completely. I bite my lip for a split second, a deep wave of exhaustion flashing through my eyes. Yet, Stella actually fighting for me tonight? That totally caught me off guard. I stay silent, taking a slow breath to bury those feelings deep. I lock eyes with Stella, my voice quiet but completely unyielding. "Miss Sterling, never do that again. I am not grateful. I am suffocated." I hold her gaze, piercing her with every single word. I give her the harsh truth. "I do not need your unwanted pity. If you stayed away tonight, I would be fine. The restaurant would not be facing this absolute disaster. Do you even realize the massive chaos your little outburst caused everyone else? Manager Ross is still begging the PR team, and I just lost my job." My tone is soft, but every word strikes like a poisoned needle. Stella freezes completely, as if struck by lightning. Her fiery anger evaporates, replaced by pure, devastating shock. She opens her mouth to speak. My voice remains calm, but the crushing weight of my words hits her. Beneath my calm mask, she finally senses the bitter truth. My total disgust, my endless exhaustion with her. Reborn for days now, the realization hits her. She has been trapped inside the ghost of her past life. She still cannot accept this new reality. This completely different version of Cole. Me finding her repulsive, in her perfect world, that is literally impossible. How could it be? Stella stays mute as I gently brush past her. "If we are done," I state coldly, "I will be taking my leave." As I step away, Stella suddenly snaps back to reality. She snatches my wrist, gripping it hard enough to bruise. Her eyes lock onto mine, swirling with a desperate, frantic panic. "Why take a job out of nowhere? Are you that desperate for cash?" In our past life, Cole never ever worked part-time. That missing puzzle piece has been haunting her. She pulls me close, making me tense. I turn, delivering an answer that shatters her completely. "I refuse to return to Sterling Manor. I never want to see you again." Her grip instantly goes slack. She stands totally paralyzed. Her face twists into something indescribable. Pure shock, agonizing loss, and a crushing helplessness she has never experienced before. Right then, a bus pulls up. I tear my hand away from Stella. Without even checking the route, I jump aboard. And Stella, the proudly untouchable princess, remains frozen exactly where I left her. Watching my back fade away, a deeply wounded look fills her eyes. Her heavy gaze burns my shoulders, but I never look back. I used to be a soft-hearted fool. When I first arrived at Sterling Manor, I watched Stella viciously fight her mother and storm away. Even when she ran into the pouring rain, my heart ached. I would always chase after her, desperately trying to bring her comfort, bringing her water, shielding her with umbrellas. My absolute devotion was rewarded with nothing but coldness. Stella grew up as the ultimate spoiled princess. Entitlement is all she knows. She truly believes everyone's devotion is simply a basic debt owed to her. The Cole of the past was completely blinded by love, but this reborn Cole sees clearly. I will never make those tragic mistakes again. Meanwhile, across the neon-lit city, Ivy struts confidently toward the VIP back entrance of Ember and Salt. The imposing security guard gives her a deep, respectful nod of recognition. She glides past without a single pause. She pushes the heavy doors and strides right in. By the time Ivy arrives, the messy aftermath has barely been contained. The 3 injured women angrily refuse any cash settlement, aggressively threatening to call the cops. Manager Ross panicked, dragging in the legal team and frantically calling the powerful Sterling family. After all, Stella ignited this absolute disaster. When a simple restaurant cannot contain the fiery mess, the mighty Sterlings must step in. The restaurant is ready to pay up and play nice, but even they have their breaking points. Ivy glides inside, heading straight toward her exclusive VIP room. Setting her designer bag aside, she struts onto the main floor. Her sharp eyes scan the uniformed servers, but there is absolutely no sign of me. Her elegant brow furrows. She circles toward the bustling kitchen, intensely scanning the exhausted staff. Almost everyone here recognizes Ivy. Whispers spread like wildfire that the boss is inspecting the floor. The terrified staff suddenly works twice as fast. Right then, Manager Ross steps out of his office. Catching sight of Ivy, he freezes like a deer in headlights. He scrambles over, sweating nervously as he speaks. "Miss Sue, are you here about tonight's ugly incident? I will take the blame, but I swear I could never have guessed the new boy was actually Miss Sterling's secret boyfriend. If I knew, I never would have hired him." Ivy stops moving. She turns, her face totally blank. Her piercing eyes lock onto Manager Ross with a terrifying stillness. In 10 years of business, Ross has never felt this deeply intimidated by someone so incredibly young. He shifts nervously, desperately trying to sound steady and confident. The mess is basically handled. We called the legal and PR teams immediately. They arrive soon. Ivy sharply cuts his nervous rambling off. "Wait, the Sterling heiress? You mean Stella from the Haichang branch? She was actually here?" Manager Ross froze. After his frantic rambling, the truth finally clicked. Ivy was completely clueless, not here for his head. A massive sigh of relief escaped him. He nervously wiped his dripping brow. "Ah, yes, miss. Earlier tonight, the Sterling heiress arrived with her usual entourage. Her boyfriend works here, and a clash broke out. Miss Sterling unleashed absolute chaos on the guests. Ross spilled every chaotic detail. With each word, Ivy's glare grew sharper. Finally, her voice dropped to absolute zero. Those VIPs dared to harass our staff? Do we really need trash like that around here?" Ross blinked in absolute shock. "I guess not," he stammered, then tossed them on the permanent blacklist. Ivy's frosty tone left no room for debate. "And the boy, Cole, right?" Ross's jaw practically hit the floor. "You know him, Miss Sue?" Ivy clicked her tongue, thoroughly annoyed. Fieldwork had delayed her arrival, leaving her entirely blind. She had missed the entire storm. Pinching the bridge of her nose, a heavy headache suddenly bloomed. "He is a hard worker," she warned. "Keep him out of this." Fresh terror washed over the trembling manager. He merely hired a temp. How did he trigger a Cheeble war? First, Stella brawling like a street thug. Now the legendary Miss Sue was shielding him too, and Ross had already fired the boy. He gulped down his panic. "Miss, I already dismissed him. His severance is paid, and he is officially gone." Ivy's piercing gaze wavered before she sighed heavily. "Whatever. Clean up this mess. I am out of here." She spun on her heel, striding away. "Wait, miss," Ross pleaded desperately. "Won't you stay for a VIP meal? Our master chef prepared an exclusive menu today. It is a flawless culinary experience." Snatching her designer bag from the suite, Ivy vanished like a ghost. "Next time," she echoed. I had completely ignored her text. Anxiety gnawed at her, but she lacked my private contact. Stepping into Stella's territory was just too dangerous. Trespassing felt absolutely wrong. With zero alternatives, Ivy flagged a taxi, racing straight toward the elite East Hill Villa zone. Stepping onto the curb, the clock struck past 9. She lingered at the grand estate gates, obsessively checking her screen. Complete digital silence. Suddenly, a lone silhouette emerged from the shadows. It was me, drowning in my own turbulent thoughts. I vowed to bury my past life's toxic grudges. Yet Stella remained a cursed magnet, forcefully dragging me into drama. My footsteps halted violently. A horrifying realization made my blood run ice cold. What if Stella had regressed too? Impossible. If that obsessive girl regressed, she would be hunting Zane right now, desperately blocking his flight abroad. Why torment her pathetic stand-in when her true love was available? My racing thoughts shattered as a sweet melody pierced the wind, a velvety whisper calling my name. I snapped my head up. Ivy stood there, bathed in the street lamp's golden glow. Her gaze held a storm of hidden emotions. Closing the distance, her enchanting eyes deeply searched my weary face. My jaw dropped completely. "Ivy? Why are you here?" Silence stretched for 2 heartbeats. "Today is my birthday. We are celebrating. I hoped you would join us." That bombshell knocked the wind out of me. "Wait, seriously? Happy birthday, Ivy." Panic seized me as I rummaged my empty bag. Desperate, I unclipped a little chick charm from the zipper. Blushing fiercely, I offered it up. "Happy birthday." I had absolutely no idea, so I came empty-handed. In my tragic previous life, Stella had stolen this exact trinket. This time, it was supposed to be mine alone. Ivy's captivating gaze locked onto the modest little charm. A fluffy yellow chick rocking a tiny straw hat, complete with a red ribbon and a soft ringing bell. Honestly, peak cuteness. Her poker face held strong as she accepted the gift. A jolt of electricity sparked where her warm fingertips grazed mine. I jerked my hand back like I had been burned. Ivy caught my blazing crimson cheeks, a secret smile forming as she attached it. "It is absolutely perfect," she whispered. "I adore it." Giving a cheap toy felt humiliating, but her radiant joy was undeniable. Her sparkling eyes pinned me in place. "We are hitting a karaoke lounge. Coming?" It sounded casual, but felt like a command. Trapped under her intense gaze, I hesitated. If Mother Sterling discovered Stella's restaurant brawl, she would probably poison my next meal. I nodded frantically, eager to escape. "Yes. Are we leaving right now?" Ivy agreed, tapping her screen for a ride, but a sudden bitter wave of regret washed over her heart. After that explosive family war over her agriculture major, she really should have stolen the luxury Maybach on her way out. Her grandfather gifted it directly. Her toxic parents never paid a single dime. It was rightfully hers to claim. Yet here she was, constantly hailing cheap taxis just to hang out with Cole. This peasant lifestyle was totally unsustainable. She desperately needed her own sanctuary. Plus, she envisioned taking Cole everywhere. This setup simply would not work. She would just buy a car. Her private savings were totally sufficient. Lost in these plans, she hastily fired a sudden text to her college group chat. "Today is my birthday. Bluest Star karaoke tonight. Attendance is absolute." Their chat held 7 members. A few were currently stuck doing fieldwork. Others were drowning in endless college essays. Catching her sudden text, explosive notifications instantly flooded the screen. Little Sue finally remembers her precious seniors. If Ivy is paying, we are completely there. I am absolutely starving. Prepare your wallet tonight. Wait a second, was your birthday not in July? This timeline feels suspicious. Is today really your birthday? Our ride finally appeared. Ivy smoothly opened my door, ensuring I was seated safely. Then, she gracefully slipped into the opposite side. Settling into her seat, she swiftly typed her bold response. "If I claim it is my birthday, it is. Just show up." She quickly dropped another bombshell. "I am bringing a friend. Behave yourselves." Stowing her device, she noticed my lingering gloomy aura. Ivy softly glanced my way. "Craving sweet boba? They say it cures a heavy heart." I smoothly flipped the question right back. "Are you thirsty, Ivy? Should I treat you?" Upon arriving at the vibrant venue, her lively study squad was already waiting inside. 3 boys, 3 girls, alongside us 2. An 8-person gathering. Seeing Ivy step through the doorway, the entire room instantly electrified. "Little Sue is here. We waited an eternity." A cute, bespectacled girl completely launched herself forward, preparing for a massive, crushing embrace. Ivy reacted with lightning reflexes. She quickly yanked me aside, dodging the collision with a protective scowl. "Watch your step. Cole is quite fragile. A single tackle from you would completely shatter him." Suddenly, the spotlight shifted to my hidden presence behind Ivy. Jaws dropped everywhere. One towering senior locked his intense gaze on me. "Ivy, is this your secret lover?" Absolute chaos erupted. "Impossible. Our Ice Queen brought a boyfriend?" My cheeks instantly burned bright crimson. I nervously peeked at her. A hidden amusement danced in her eyes. Gently pulling me forward, she silenced the roaring crowd. "Calm down. Meet Cole. He studies at Ashford right across the avenue. We are not officially dating." A dramatic gasp echoed around, followed by intensely suspicious smirks. "Not yet, maybe." After all, their untouchable princess never allowed any man this close. She was always an absolute ice goddess, repelling all approaching suitors. Witnessing a male companion by her side was purely historic. Telepathic signals wildly flashed between the deeply mischievous squad members. She absolutely forged a fake birthday for this date. She is completely smitten. Every single stare gleamed with burning gossip. a bold upperclassman suddenly offered a refreshing soda directly in my direction. "Greetings, cute freshman. I am Mia. Call me Big Sister." Before I could answer, Ivy fiercely intercepted with a chilling tone. "You aggressively hoard cute juniors constantly. Your harem must be massive." Mia simply shrugged off the deadly aura. "This boy is special. He radiates such pure, innocent energy." Ivy leaned intimately close, whispering softly, "Disregard these clowns. Eat this sweet snack." She gently pushed the colorful platter forward, elegantly peeling a fresh citrus slice for me. The audience gaped at our domestic display with dropping jaws. My own heart started pounding under their intense scrutiny. Silenced by her glare, the secret chat room practically exploded with fiery gossip. "Our ice queen truly has magnificent taste. He is ridiculously handsome. Is she hunting him? Shall we activate wingman mode?" The secret messages blazed endlessly. Ivy maintained absolute indifference until Mia dropped a strategic text. Ivy instantly fired back. What plan? Their eyes locked dangerously. Mia dramatically flipped her hair. "Observe a master at work." Lowering the pulsing bass, a wicked smirk crossed her face. "Listen up, mortals. A gathering requires a spicy game of secrets and dares. Who joins?" A digital groan appeared online. "Seriously, another generic parlor game?" Mia aggressively glared at Ivy, telepathically screaming, "I am literally securing your future husband here. Must I carry this entire romance alone?" She dramatically shouted out loud, "Ice Queen, are you participating?" Surrendering to fate, Ivy faced my direction. "Care to join?" This chaotic game was an absolute university survival tradition. Honestly, I remained a total beginner. Mia practically vibrated with evil joy. "Excellent, everyone plays. Let me fetch the deck." The group formed a tense circle around the glowing lounge. Leaning close, I whispered softly, "Ivy, where is your cake?" My question shattered her illusion. She completely forgot her own fake celebration. "Freezing for 2 beats," she awkwardly replied. "I celebrated earlier. One sugar rush was enough for today." A fleeting shadow of guilt danced across her beautiful gaze, though I remained blissfully oblivious. I trusted her completely. Besides, what kind of absolute lunatic would forge their own date of birth? Mia returned wielding the deck like a weapon. The 8 participants braced themselves within the plush arena. Securing the spot beside me, she slammed the cards down with theatrical flair. "Let the chaos commence. Draw your fate." Their frozen princess finally discovered a potential lover. The squad was preparing to wage absolute war for her romance. Cards are drawn. Mia's energetic voice shatters the quiet. "Who pulled the ace? Reveal it." The group instantly peeks at their hands. Ivy reveals her draw. Just a 2. Honestly, I am a total rookie at this game. I slowly reveal my own hand. The dark ace of spades glares at me. Ivy arches an eyebrow, shooting Mia a suspicious side-eye. Mia simply blinks back, acting completely blameless. She insists it is pure destiny, not trickery. Presenting 2 mysterious boxes, Mia flashes a wicked smirk. "Well then, our cute junior. Truth or dare?" I swallow hard. Truth, I suppose. Instantly, greedy sparks ignite in everyone's eyes. "Oh, we love a juicy truth. You cannot escape now, Junior." A senior girl gleefully dives into the truth box, handing me a tightly folded secret. "Unveil your fate. Let us hear it." My trembling fingers slowly peel the paper apart. Mia aggressively leans in, broadcasting it instantly. "Tell us about your very first love." Dozens of curious gazes pierce my soul. Beside me, even Ivy curiously tilts her head. She is clearly intrigued. I freeze. In this current life, my heart has honestly never fluttered for anyone. But recalling my previous life, Stella stole my heart at 18. By 19, we were entwined. Those agonizing memories remain permanently etched. I recall every bitter detail. A toxic romance dripping with sorrow. That pure, naive magic of a first crush. It is shattered forever. I force out a scratchy, awkward chuckle, dodging the details. Simply back during my school days. Leaving the timeline blurry is basically a flawless evasion tactic. The entire group stares at me, then instantly snaps their gaze to Ivy. Ivy's beautiful face stiffens, a frosty chill entering her eyes. "Wait, which school phase?" Mia aggressively clears her throat, leaning dangerously close. "Classes started a month ago. Is she from our campus? Who captured your heart?" Panicking, I quickly toss the cursed paper away. "Nobody from this campus," I stammer, my cheeks burning. "Oh, so a bittersweet high school romance?" A senior girl playfully probes. "Honestly, my first crush blossomed in kindergarten. One-sided puppy love is totally valid." A random senior boy loudly chimes in to help. "Following those rules, mine happened at age 3. Hearing this chaos, Ivy's icy expression finally melts. That ridiculous logic actually diffuses the tension. Mia dramatically waves her hands. Fine. We are all hopeless romantics with tragic first loves. Whatever. Time for the next thrilling round. During round 2, a senior girl snatches the deadly ace. She bravely chooses a dare. Mia announces her dark fate for everyone. Pick a victim and occupy their lap for 5 solid minutes. The room erupts into absolute chaos. Please spare me. Do not pick me. People are begging for mercy. Giggling wickedly, the senior cheerfully declares, I choose my precious bestie. She aggressively tackles her friend's lap. The ruthless game continues. Suddenly, Ivy secures the cursed ace. Revealing the card, a faint, confident smile ghosts across her stunning lips. Dare, she declares bravely. Mia ruthlessly slides the dreaded box closer, her manic gaze screaming hidden, chaotic intention. Mia is practically radiating evil schemes. Ivy swallows a heavy sigh. Following that terrifying stare, she bravely plucks out her destiny. Mia aggressively steals the paper, shouting the decree. Interlock fingers with the person on your right for 10 agonizing minutes. Absolute pandemonium strikes. Oh, jackpot for our cute junior. A massive, muscular senior sitting on Ivy's left roars across the chaotic circle. Do not terrorize the fresh meat. You will traumatize him. Hey, Ivy, just hold my manly hand instead. My sweaty palms are no big deal. You are fine with this, right? Let us go, Ivy. He violently lunges for her hand. With flawless reflex, Ivy buries both hands deep inside her pockets. The giant desperately grabs her sleeve, attempting to forcibly yank her arm free. Stop being painfully shy. I am completely cool with this. Why the hesitation? Ivy coldly shrinks back, glaring daggers at him. Back off immediately. I refuse to touch you. Mia aggressively intercepts, physically shielding her friend. The law is absolute. Do you not comprehend basic game rules? She pivots toward me, flashing an angelic smile. Hey there, cute junior. It is just a game. You are okay with this, right? Observing their chaotic banter, a deep pang of jealousy hits me over their effortless bond. Blushing fiercely, I timidly shake my head. No, I truly do not mind. Before my brain can process the sheer audacity, I extend my trembling hand, offering Ivy a warm, nervous smile. Strawberry pink tints Ivy's cute ears. Maintaining her icy composure, she softly murmurs her thanks. Slowly, her delicate right hand approaches my left. My trembling fingers perfectly slot into the empty spaces between hers, tenderly locking our hands together. Porcelain, velvety, radiating warmth. The exact second our skin collides, an atomic blush detonates across my face. I have never touched a girl so intimately. Our fingers seamlessly locked in an undeniably intimate, heart-racing embrace. This sacred connection is strictly reserved for deeply devoted lovers. Throughout my entire past life, during 5 agonizing years dating Stella, we never shared a bond this profound. Not once. The chaotic game fades into background noise as my heart furiously hammers against my ribs. My entire universe shrinks down to her soft, locked fingers. I am practically paralyzed, my cheeks blazing like a raging furnace. Ivy appears flawlessly chill, yet true observers would notice her strangely rigid, mechanical posture, that tiny delay in her usual reflexes, a hidden storm brews within her. My nerves are absolutely skyrocketing. This heart-fluttering sensation is entirely alien to my soul. I subtly attempt to loosen my grip, yet Ivy's hold remains surprisingly unyielding. Trapped. We remain totally frozen, fingers intimately locked, for 10 eternal minutes. The timer finally chimes. As Ivy gently releases my grip, her soft palm lingers, slick with nervous anticipation. I wasn't the only one suffocating from the tension. Her pulse had been racing just as wildly. Destiny spares us the ace for the remaining rounds. Amidst the chaotic laughter, Ivy sneaks me a sweet pastry. Leaning in close, her gentle voice whispers, "Are you starving? Craving anything more?" I accept the treat, my voice dropping to a shy murmur. No, this is perfect. Thanks. Honestly, I was fired within 2 hours of arriving at work today. My spirit was utterly crushed. I'd been starving and miserable all night. Yet, surrounded by their infectious laughter and Ivy's warmth, my heavy heart soared. Loneliness was my constant companion. Whenever the cold manor felt suffocating, I never had a sanctuary to run to. Being rescued by Ivy tonight means the absolute world to me. Why shower me with such kindness? I dare not question it. My impoverished past chained me to deep insecurities. Add my tragic past life with Stella into the mix, and my soul carries romance scars that refuse to fade. In my darkest thoughts, I firmly believed I was utterly unlovable. A flawless, capable goddess like Ivy? Falling for me? Absolute fantasy. Doubt creeps in as I steal a glance at her. Her radiant warmth makes comparing her to Stella's coldness feel like a ridiculous joke. Just thinking of Stella shatters my joy. Ivy instantly senses my darkening aura, turning to me with tender anxiety. Are you okay? Heat rushes to my cheeks. Nothing, I stutter, dropping my gaze. Oh man, I am completely ruined. Since our fingers intertwined, meeting her gaze feels impossible. One look at her dainty hand, and my mind totally short-circuits. Dozens of intense game rounds later, the midnight hour rapidly approaches. These seniors are literal slaves to their farming professors, dragged into the muddy fields before the sun even rises, returning drenched in dirt past twilight. It is 11 o'clock. The exhausted squad must flee, miss curfew, and these zombies sleep outside. Mia smirks at Ivy. Returning to campus with us, little Sue? Ivy once lived there full-time. Despite owning a luxurious villa nearby, she previously avoided it completely. Yet recently, she has practically abandoned her dorm room. Mia's eyes dart between us, sparkling with mischievous gossip. Predictably, Ivy declines. Not tonight. I am escorting Cole home. Mia stretches out a dramatic ooh, flashing a wicked grin. Understood, we shall leave you two lovebirds alone. The dorm-bound crew begins their frantic retreat, racing against the brutal campus lockdown clock. Ivy guides me into the crisp night air, hailing a taxi. She pivots toward me. Did you enjoy yourself? Her gorgeous eyes study my expression, searching for any lingering shadows. I beam brightly. Thank you, Ivy. It was magical. Her shoulders relax. Thank goodness, you always seemed allergic to loud crowds. My gentle, introverted aura made her terrified that this chaotic outing would completely drain my social battery. Meanwhile, their group chat was exploding with teasing. Little Sue moves at light speed. Our precious youngest member is escaping the single life first. Fellow comrades, anyone hiding hot contacts? Find me a cute underclassman right now. My peanut harvest needs a desperate rescue. Farm labor is peak romance. Hey little Sue, our Wednesday afternoon schedule is totally clear. Invite Cole to a haunted escape room. Unsurprisingly, this terrifying master plan belonged entirely to Mia. She was the undisputed mastermind of romantic conspiracies. Despite zero real dating experience, her academic knowledge of seduction was unmatched. Meanwhile, Ivy and I sat closely in our taxi, reading the chaotic chat. Ivy types rapidly. A puzzle room? Fine. But why a terrifying one? Cole might faint from fear. Mia's digital screaming vibrates the phone. Are you kidding me? Without my genius, you will die single. Pay attention, rookie. When trapping your crush in a game, absolute terror is the winning strategy. How else will you desperately leap into his embrace? Bring him Wednesday. I will handle the magic. Ivy sighed at her friend's reckless theatrics. Yet tonight's risky strategy succeeded. At minimum, skinship was fully achieved. Since that touching moment, Cole's gaze constantly fluttered away. His adorable, bashful aura was undeniable. An incredibly promising green light. In matters of the heart, Ivy preferred a relentless blitz. Hesitation meant losing her prize to a rival, especially with Stella's completely toxic and unpredictable obsession lurking nearby. A fire of determination ignites within her. Locking onto her target, she turns toward me. Cole, are your Wednesday afternoons free? Blinking in surprise, I murmur, I think so. Let me check. My trembling hands pull up my schedule. I present my schedule. Wednesday afternoon is entirely clear. Ivy's gaze sweeps over it, capturing everything in an instant. With her flawless photographic memory, she instantly memorizes it. She leans in, lowering her sweet voice. Our friends are planning a Wednesday escape room run. Have you ever tried one? Her presence is dangerously close. Her soft whisper brushes right against my ear. A blazing warmth instantly rushes up to my cheeks. Those trendy escape games are huge with college crowds right now, but they were never my scene. I have always preferred the quiet shadows. But hanging out with Ivy's vibrant group tonight, it was not the exhausting ordeal I had feared. I can finally just breathe. Their overwhelming, chaotic energy completely masks my awkwardness, making me feel right at home. Still blushing, I drop my gaze and whisper, I haven't. Is it actually fun? Ivy studies my flustered face, a gentle smile blooming. Me neither, she murmurs sweetly. Let us experience it together this Wednesday. By the time we finally reach East Hill Estates, it is 11 o'clock. I almost never stay out this late. Back in my past life, I was always locked inside by 6 or 7. But lately, my entire routine has shifted. Stella stands guarding the estate gates, arms tightly crossed. Her dark eyes fiercely scan the empty road. Ivy gently walks me from the car. As we stroll toward the entrance together, Stella's expression instantly freezes. She spins around and storms off into the shadows. Ivy escorts me to the front gate. Wait, do you actually live nearby? The truth is, Ivy secretly owns a massive local villa. Her wealthy grandfather gifted her the extravagant property when she enrolled at Ashford University, all because she passionately chose to study agriculture. Her strict parents furiously opposed her dream. They even ruthlessly severed her financial lifelines. They coldly abandoned her for her entire 4-year degree, but her loving grandfather remained her unbreakable shield. Having tilled the earth in his youth, he still treasured gardening. The doting patriarch proudly bought her a luxurious estate right in this neighborhood. The magnificent villa boasts a sprawling 200-square-meter garden. It is the perfect paradise for Ivy's endless botanical dreams. She gracefully points into the distance. My place is just over there, super close. I follow her slender finger, completely clueless. The thought of her actually living inside the ultra-rich East Hill estates never crosses my mind. Spotting the distant city lights, I foolishly assume she rents a tiny apartment in a normal residential block over there. I pause at the gates. Thanks for escorting me, Ivy. Have a good night. She stops, offering a gentle nod and a sweet, lingering wave. See you tomorrow. My gaze gets hopelessly caught on her pale, delicate fingers, and my racing mind instantly spirals completely out of control. The phantom sensation of our intertwined hands suddenly floods my memory, sending fresh heat across my face. Heart racing, I turn and vanish through the gates. Inside the manor, Stella finds her imposing mother waiting in the dim living room. Ever since Stella uncovered her mother's plot against Zane, toxic silence has choked the house. Terrified of her daughter's burning hatred, the matriarch slowly lowers her phone onto the glass table as Stella enters. Stella, come sit with me, her mother commands. Stella's expression remains glacial. She ignores the woman, marching straight toward the grand staircase. The older woman's brow twitches with suppressed rage. Stella, I said come here right now. The icy heiress halts on the steps, radiating pure hostility. Stella slowly turns. She stalks over and collapses onto the plush sofa, elegantly crossing her legs while glaring at her mother. What now? Stella snaps. Her mother's lips curl into a terrifyingly sharp smile. What else? Your precious future with Zane. Stella blinks, her fierce frown deepening. Stay out of my relationship. Marriage? That hasn't even crossed my mind yet. Her mother tilts her head, dripping with venomous mockery. Seeing how shamelessly you threw yourself at him, I assumed he was your fated soulmate, yet mentioning a wedding instantly makes you retreat in pure panic. What is your actual endgame here, Stella? The daughter's fists clench tight. Could you just stay out of my life? She snarls. First you try to destroy us. Now you are forcing us down the aisle. What twisted game are you playing with me? With a chilling smirk, the matriarch slides a glowing news article across the glass table. Read it and weep. Stella snatches the device, her blood running cold. Who leaked this garbage? The screen is plastered with scandalous paparazzi shots of her and Zane sneaking out of hotels. Even pictures of Zane inside the private manor. Everything is exposed. As the absolute apex predator of the city's wealth, the Sterling family demands perfection. Stella has lived her entire life under the ruthless spotlight of high society. Even her rebellious choice to attend Ashford University dominated the tabloids for weeks. Meanwhile, Zane's father was a powerful political figure. Recently, he plummeted from grace, facing federal investigations at the worst possible time. And Stella isn't just secretly dating his ruined son. She blatantly brought him into her family's sacred stronghold. The vicious public is weaving conspiracies as new headlines spawn every single hour. The internet is exploding. Netizens are viciously accusing the Sterling empire of criminal collusion with a corrupt politician. Mrs. Sterling smirked like winter ice. Are you satisfied? The entire world knows you are tangled with Zane now. Is this your grand desire? Stella slammed her phone down, her jaw tightly clenched. Why is this not erased yet? Are you blind to the crashing stock prices? Has father seen this? A sharp headache pierced her skull. How did this leak happen? She demanded, her voice dripping with absolute frost. Who leaked this? Mrs. Sterling scoffed bitterly. Who else? It must be the Zane family's doing. Zane was doomed to exile until he leached onto your status. Now, he stays. She snatched her phone back, commanding her assistant to clean up this catastrophe. Her piercing gaze then locked onto Stella. I am erasing this mess, but sever your ties with Zane immediately. Stella's mind whirled in utter chaos. Who truly leaked this scandal? Her mother's logic pointed straight to the Zanes, yet Stella refused to believe Zane would manipulate her so ruthlessly. Snatching her keys, Stella stormed out into the dark night. She needed to confront Zane. As her car roared out, I stepped through the grand iron gates. Blinding headlights washed over me, forcing my hand up to shield my eyes. Peering through the glare, my eyes locked with Stella's. Her beautiful face was shadowed with an unfathomable darkness. Frowning without surprise, I simply stepped aside. Stella desperately wanted to ask. She craved to know the true relationship between Cole and Ivy. Why were they always together? Why was this absent from her past life? But having caused Cole's firing today, she had lost all rights. Hidden beneath her icy mask, she secretly feared his burning fury. After a brief, agonizing hesitation, Stella drove into the night. Returning to the servants' quarters, I spotted my father playing chess with another driver. He leaped up instantly. "Cole, my boy, you have returned." I opened my door, blinking in surprise. "Dad, you are still awake?" He nodded gravely. "Come inside. Let us talk." Heart-to-heart chats were incredibly rare for us. During my childhood, we talked constantly. But as I grew older, those precious moments faded into distant memories. Seeing his heavy expression, a quiet dread settled in my gut. "Dad, what happened?" He stepped inside, sinking onto the small wooden stool. Watching me unpack, he hesitated heavily. "Cole, I must confess something." He took a deep breath. "I am resigning. I am leaving the Sterling estate forever." My hands froze instantly. I stared at him, bewildered. "Dad, you want to quit?" Just recently, he had endlessly praised this job. The butler and fellow drivers were wonderful companions. With free room, generous benefits, and wealthy pay, he had genuinely planned to stay here forever. Yet now, this sudden bomb. My father gazed at me softly. "Madam Sterling has been tormenting you lately, has she not?" His weathered face grew fiercely protective. "And the young Miss Sterling, has she been crushing your spirit too?" He refused to let his flesh and blood suffer. Even with my dorm move, his resolve was absolute stone. He despised the thought of university elites mocking his boy as a mere chauffeur's son. He would never let me carry that humiliating label. A heavy silence stretched between us. "What about Aunt Diane? Did you inform her?" Dad nodded with a heavy sigh. "She refuses to leave, so I will return to our hometown alone. Diane is not my birth mother anyway. Her choices hardly faze me." We sat facing each other, sharing a quiet, tender moment. "Do not worry about me," Dad smiled gently. "Once I resign, I will return to our village. You always wished to relocate your grandparents' graves together. Now, we finally have the freedom to fulfill that duty." He then brought up our crumbling ancestral home. "That old leaking roof needs repairs. If left ruined, we will have no shelter for the New Year festival." The devastating truth? My father had secretly yearned for home for decades. But sacrificing everything to fund my education kept him enslaved here through every single holiday. My eyes burned red with unshed tears. A crushing weight shattered my chest. "Dad, forgive me. But this time, possessing memories of my rebirth, I will rewrite our tragic fate. I will never again be the pathetic fool who believed in Stella's fake love or hoped for Madame Sterling's venomous acceptance. I will not drag my father into hell again." Thankfully, Dad had saved enough to buy a modest home in the city outskirts. A simple 2-bedroom sanctuary would be absolute paradise for us. He already mapped out his peaceful retirement. Return to the village, open a humble shop, or cultivate the quiet countryside lands. Retirement was approaching anyway. I was always his entire universe. As for Diane, if she craved this wealthy estate, she could stay. Dad would visit her freely. He would fetch her when ready, but he absolutely banned her from sabotaging my destiny ever again. Her toxic meddling always brought catastrophic ruin. After Dad finally left my room, I lay awake, staring into the endless night. In my previous life, Stella and I shared 5 years of absolute miserable tragedy. Behind closed doors, Stella showed me basic surface-level mercy. Yet, the single nightmare that truly shattered my soul was what Madame Sterling. The poison she slipped into my meals destroyed my body. That lingering sickness turned me into a pathetic joke in the eyes of the Sterling family. Fate's wheel spins differently in this second life. But instead of relief, a suffocating dread gnaws at my soul. The shadows of an unknown destiny loom over me. Will that tragic accident still shatter everything? I shoot up from my mattress. The midnight chorus of frogs echoes outside as I flick on the dim bedside light. Shoving the glass panes wide open, a rush of cool wind hits my face. It carries the rich scent of damp soil and blooming nightshade. Resting my arms on the ledge, my eyes pierce the heavy darkness, scanning the shadowed silhouettes of the courtyard below. Suddenly, a pale silhouette catches my eye. A figure draped in white rests silently upon the stone pavilion bench. Her gaze pierces straight through the gloom, locked onto my room. Spotting Stella sends a sudden, icy shock down my spine. I break the eye contact immediately, grabbing the window frame. It is 2 in the morning. For heaven's sake. Why is she lurking in the shadows? She haunts the grounds like a restless spirit. It sends shivers down my arms. Did she not leave to visit Zane earlier? How did she return so fast? Catching my movement, she suddenly snaps to attention. She bolts upright and marches toward the building. "Cole," she rasps, her voice thick with desperation. "Wait," I ignore her. I yank the glass panels shut. Panic flashes across her face as she breaks into an urgent run. Her palm slams against the barrier. She leans heavily on the sill, her burning eyes locking relentlessly onto my cold stare. The heavy scent of liquor seeps through the cracks. "Cole," she whispers into the night. "Be my boyfriend." My face turns to ice. I hold her gaze smoothly. "Absolutely not." Pure shock shatters her eyes. She never expected this instant rejection. In our previous timeline, that exact question won my heart. Now, frustration twists her features. "Why are you rejecting me? Is this about Ivy?" It is the only excuse her arrogant mind can grasp. My annoyance peaks. Leave Ivy out of this. A chilling, lifeless smirk creeps onto my lips. "Listen closely, Stella. You disgust me." I let the silence hang. "You are utterly draining." Those harsh syllables strike her like physical blows. She has lived her entire existence as the flawless queen of every stage. Total defiance is a foreign language to her. A single glance from her usually brings the entire world crawling to her feet. Yet I branded her a worthless nuisance. A storm brews. She freezes completely, struggling to process the devastating blow to her ego. Only after an eternity does the spark return to her eyes. Her carefully constructed facade begins to crack and crumble. This midnight confrontation was supposed to be a graceful, controlled victory. Locking onto my unfeeling gaze, she forces each word out with measured precision. "Ah, you are just furious. I never chased you properly. Is that your little game?" Her tone drips with a dark, unreadable emotion. I simply stare back, completely unmoved. My expression remains an impenetrable wall of frost. Deep down, a tragic laugh bubbles up. Once, my soul bled dry for this woman. Back then, I was totally invisible to her. In this reborn timeline, her very presence makes me sick. Yet here she stands, begging for an explanation. The sheer hypocrisy makes me scoff. I shake my head slowly. Your pathetic chase means absolutely nothing. Our paths will never cross again. Never. Denial flashes in her eyes. In her mind, our perfect romance was an unbreakable, destined fact. She convinces herself this is just petty jealousy over Zane. Reaching through the gloom, her soft fingers brush against my cheek. A mysterious, heavy shadow veils her beautiful features. Leaning in closer, she breathes out a dangerously quiet vow. "I do not care. I am making you mine. I will prove it." Raw disgust twists my face into a terrifying scowl. My tone cuts like a frozen blade. "Did you lose your hearing? I dumped you. We are practically strangers. Stay away from my life." As my hand violently grips the brass lock, her fingers finally slip away from the glass barrier in defeat. Snap. The heavy lock engages with brutal finality. I yank the thick drapes shut, casting the room back into total darkness, severing the last remaining tie between our worlds forever. Rooted in the midnight shadows, she glares at the closed blinds. Her journey home had been a living nightmare. She had visited the wretched estate, witnessing his sickly, defeated expression. His mother confessed their cowardly escape plans were totally canceled. They boldly demanded her hand in marriage. Those leeches expected the mighty Sterling Empire to save their crumbling legacy. Fleeing that suffocating mansion, absolute panic crushed her lungs. The timeline is broken, she whispers into the night wind. He is totally transformed. His protective gaze is completely gone. That burning devotion has turned to ash. Meanwhile, her supposedly perfect first love turned out to be trash. Her flawless Prince Charming. The idol she worshipped for 5 agonizing years had been manipulating her like a pathetic chess piece. She dreads whispering the unspeakable truth. Without her glittering wealth, would that bastard have even glanced her way? Dawn breaks. Exiting the gates, I spot her flashy sapphire racer idling nearby. Hidden behind dark shades, her voice cuts through the morning air. "Cole, get inside." Gripping my milk carton tightly, I brush past her luxury ride. "Hard pass, Miss Sterling?" The bus suits me fine. Her perfect brow twitches. The expensive engine purrs, crawling alongside me. "Cole, didn't we agree last night? You were letting me win you over." My eyes narrow. Not even close. I shut her down completely yesterday, but her twisted reality only hears exactly what she wants. Stepping toward her window, her tension melts into a victorious smirk. She thinks she won. Not a chance in hell. Meeting her gaze with ice-cold conviction, I deliver reality. Miss Sterling, I never agreed. I am not getting in. You and this flashy ride draw way too much heat. I refuse to be tomorrow's trending gossip headline. I pivot, taking the quiet path toward the station. Her arrogant facade shatters, slamming her hands against the leather wheel. Suddenly, her screen lights up. Zane. Instantly snapping back into her flawless heiress persona, she answers smoothly. Hey, Zane. A trembling, shattered voice whispers through the speaker. Stella, please come to the hospital. The loneliness is crushing me. Pushing open the hospital doors, the devastating sight of Zane's deteriorating condition catches her completely off guard. Seeing his broken state, venomous resentment toward the Sterling matriarch boils in her blood. How could her own mother unleash such merciless cruelty? Zane lies trapped in this sterile nightmare simply because their destinies were inextricably intertwined. If he heals, they might survive this. But if he fails, will chains of suffocating guilt shackle her forever? Human nature is brutally transactional. Once someone turns into dead weight, affection instantly evaporates. Zane lays tethered to an intravenous line. His face is hauntingly drained. As Stella steps closer, dark shadows consume his features. His piercing gaze locks onto her. Stella, why did you vanish last night? Did my mother's sudden marriage talk send you running for the exit? Settling onto the mattress, her fingers tenderly brush through his messy hair. I just had urgent matters to handle. It wasn't about the marriage. Stop torturing your mind. A lifeless, bitter laugh escapes Zane's lips. How long will you keep feeding me lies, Stella? His features contort in agony. A primal, suffocating resentment burns deeply within his feverish eyes. One bowl of that cursed porridge at your mansion, and my life collapsed into this hospital bed. My body is completely ruined. Want to know the doctor's secret? Panic strikes. The day he collapsed, Stella fiercely ordered the medical staff to bury the truth. This was Sterling territory. No doctor working for her empire should have ever dared to breathe a single syllable. Stella's mask slips. A storm of calculated dread flashes across her face. What exactly did the doctor reveal? Scanning his broken expression, a singular lethal thought echoes in her mind. Who betrayed my orders? Zane stares back, radiating, devastating, quiet heartbreak. He genuinely believed their bond was unbreakable, a pure romance forged in their childhood memories, a destiny spanning countless years. Stella had boldly declared her unyielding devotion since their early academy days. He mistook her obsession for true love. Now, bloodshot eyes pierce her soul. I know your family's lapdogs would never whisper the actual truth. So my mother dragged me to an independent clinic. The diagnosis shattered everything. A massive, intentional drug overdose. Zane shatters completely. His voice splinters under the weight of betrayal. Those pills are poison all on their own. My body reacts violently to it. A basic dose would destroy me, but they pumped my system with an executioner's amount. Your mother wants me dead, Stella, and you are burying the evidence. Raw, undisguised terror temporarily paralyzes Stella's flawless composure. She forcefully grounds her emotions. Despite the toxic war with her mother, high society inextricably binds their cursed bloodline together. If the matriarch falls as a convicted criminal, what absolute ruin awaits the heir? Mrs. Sterling reigns beside the empire's patriarch. A public scandal of this magnitude would obliterate their family's legendary stocks. Processing the catastrophic stakes, she watches Zane crumble. Without hesitation, she lunges forward, wrapping him tightly in a desperate embrace, gently caressing his trembling head. Hush, breathe. Your fever is spiking. Let the anger go. If you shatter further, my heart won't survive the worry. Collapsing into her warmth, a devastated sob escapes him. Where do I even go from here? I've never even tasted real love, and my vessel is already turning to dust. Stop speaking such darkness. Stella anchors his trembling frame. You're simply ill. The specialists promised a cure. Do not let the abyss take you. Pulling back an inch, her gaze locks onto his, radiating an intensely profound sincerity. Through heaven or hell, I am staying right here. You want my eternal vow? Let us announce our engagement this very month. Zane freezes. A fragile, awestruck glimmer pierces his despair. Do you truly mean that, Stella? You actually wish to become my wife? Boarding the morning transit, Ivy's usual seat is completely empty. A jolt of surprise hits me. We've crossed paths on this exact route every single dawn lately. I hastily glance at my digital clock. No mistake. This is absolutely her usual ride. Perhaps she skipped the academy today. Riding in silent isolation, I glare at my screen. Should I send a text, or just let fate decide? My mind kept spiraling into doubt. We simply were not close enough yet to casually demand her whereabouts. Yet the mystery only deepened. For 3 agonizing days straight, Ivy completely vanished from sight. Amidst this swirling chaos, my phone buzzed with an absolute game changer. Campus housing had finally approved my transfer. Pure adrenaline surged through my veins. The second the lecture ended, I dragged Rico to inspect our new sanctuary. I scored room 504, and you are in 502. Your 3 roommates are history majors. Seen them wandering the halls before. They give off a super chill vibe. I nodded, feeling deeply relieved. The previous senior left our dorm absolutely spotless. We figured we would hunt down some basic supplies today. With my father officially resigning, my destiny was mine again. I was finally severing ties with Sterling Manor. A bespectacled roommate glanced up. "So, which of you is the new guy?" "That is me," I replied smoothly. Freshman literature major. His eyes narrowed in recognition. "I am Theo, from history. You look awfully familiar." That cursed photography scandal. Acting as Madame Sterling's secret cameraman for Stella had turned me into campus gossip. My face was already infamous, but my armor was forged from past humiliations. I survived this nightmare before. The gossip barely scratched my composure. Suddenly, Rico's face lit up. "Wait, Theo! You were in that epic showcase!" Faster than lightning, Rico bridged the awkward gap, chatting up Theo as if they were long-lost blood brothers. Within minutes, they were officially socially linked, aggressively exchanging contacts and tossing around bro like confetti. His social stat was terrifyingly maxed out. Stepping into the hallway, I suggested raiding the campus store for survival gear. After a lightning-fast cleaning session, I powered through my afternoon lectures. The absolute second the bell rang, I bolted. Rico tilted his head in sheer confusion. "Cole, what is lighting this massive fire under you?" "Because my patience vanished. Plus, I just secured a golden gig, working the evening rush hour at that popular local fishing park. I will dominate the front desk, managing elite memberships and peddling premium fishing gear to the absolute masses." It sounded like a total breeze, but the venue was miles away from campus, practically another realm from Sterling Manor. Securing this dorm meant absolute liberation. No more grueling commutes back to that gilded cage. A total logistical victory. As dusk fell, I packed my existence into a bag. Bidding my father farewell, I wheeled away from the estate. Madame Sterling caught this dramatic exit red-handed. She shot an icy glare at her loyal butler. "Why is he leaving?" The butler sighed heavily. "Mr. Morrow is officially resigning, madam. Cole is relocating to the dorms." She flicked her wrist. "Then hire a replacement driver immediately. Our wealth guarantees endless candidates." The butler offered an obedient bow, burying his exhaustion. Tossing her luxurious coat aside, the matriarch scoffed. "Honestly, this is a brilliant blessing. I despised him sharing Stella's daily commute. A lowly servant harboring romantic delusions about my daughter? That nightmare completely ends today. Forcing him to act as my secret spy perfectly shattered whatever bond they had forming." Stella's naive heart almost wavered. The butler maintained a perfectly hollow smile. "Madam's terrifying foresight remains absolutely unmatched in this house. A true shadow queen." Her manipulative web extended far beyond mere mortal comprehension. Under the glow of my new dorm room, my thumb hovered nervously over the screen. "Ivy, I have moved onto campus. The era of early morning bus rides is over." Miles away, Ivy was strolling past the gates. Suddenly, she froze. Her sculpted brows creased sharply. A dark shadow flickered. Beside her, Mia's patience finally snapped into pieces. "Little Sue, are you cursed? Why glare at your screen constantly? Whose digital footprint are you hunting? For 3 grueling days." Ivy, notoriously allergic to mindless scrolling, had been obsessively monitoring her notifications, waiting for one specific name to light up. Mia practically begged her, "Stop playing the waiting game, take the initiative." But Ivy merely smirked. "I am weaving my trap. You simply cannot comprehend my ultimate strategy." Mia was silenced, grumbling softly. "What kind of twisted psychological game is this? Treating a campus crush like a literal military conquest? Did you actually memorize the art of war?" Ivy remained stoically silent. But tonight, the silent war broke. A text from Cole. The heavy tension in her chest instantly evaporated into the breeze. 3 agonizing days of purposefully abandoning their morning commute, and the bait was taken. The psychological operation was a massive success. He was undeniably obsessing over her absence. But as her eyes scanned the actual words, her triumphant smirk completely shattered. This rogue variable instantly annihilated her grand master plan. So much for ancient military tactics. But her brilliant mind quickly recalibrated. Wait a second, Cole escaping that grand mansion might actually be her ultimate secret advantage. Stella's bizarre attachment to Cole always felt deeply threatening. With razor-sharp intuition, Ivy knew the heiress harbored dangerous hidden feelings. Her mind raced with possibilities, but seeing his absolute indifference towards Stella, that chapter was completely closed. Staring at her glowing screen, Ivy knew she had to strike first. "You back at the dorm?" she texted. "Need a hand unpacking?" I replied instantly. "All settled, traveled light today." Reading his reply, a quiet ache tugged at Ivy's heart. She missed her chance, but I hadn't forgotten my promise. Sitting on my fresh dorm bed, I finally sent the dinner invitation. "When are you free, Ivy? Dinner is on me." I'd been waiting for the perfect moment to ask her out properly. An amused spark lit her eyes. She instantly scanned my entire weekly schedule, already perfectly memorized. "Tomorrow afternoon is wide open," she typed smoothly. The timing was flawless, and she knew just the spot, that legendary Korean barbecue place nearby. Their sizzling lamb ribs were the absolute talk of the campus. He'd devour it, surely. But my reply crushed her hopes. "So sorry, Ivy. I snagged a shift tomorrow. Can we do Wednesday? Employed already? Where? Doing what? Is it safe?" Bombarded with questions, I just dropped the fishing park's map pin. Just a local fishing park. Manning the counter and slinging bait. Super chill gig. Found it on the campus job board. A senior recommended it. I forwarded every single detail from the official listing. Her eyes narrowed instantly. Swiping into maps, she locked onto the exact coordinates like a heat-seeking missile. Target acquired. She launched a full-scale background check, devouring every review and corporate detail online. She ruthlessly analyzed every single rating. Meanwhile, Mia waltzed back from the mart, happily wielding twin steaming sausages. Taking a massive bite, she shoved the spare snack toward her bestie. "Girl, are you really still glued there?" "Sun's going down." Ivy chewed thoughtfully before a sudden spark lit her face. "Wait, you know this district perfectly, right? Where's the nearest hardcore tackle shop?" Mia froze mid-chew, the sudden weird request totally short-circuiting her brain. "Tackle? Shop?" She muffled through a mouthful of meat. Her gaze slowly dropped to examine Ivy's completely non-outdoorsy outfit. Ivy unleashed a deadly, absolute deadpan glare. Mia sweat dropped. "Wait, literal fishing rods? Girl, are you really that desperate?" Ivy's gaze turned icy. "Professional angling equipment. The works. We are invading that fishing park tomorrow." Mia blinked, utterly bewildered. "But you're a business major. Since when do you care about catching carp?" Ivy remained fiercely silent. Once afternoon lectures wrapped, I grabbed my bag, hopped on a campus cruiser, and pedaled toward my new workplace. The grounds were absolutely massive. The reception desk buzzed with chaotic energy, swarmed mostly by hardcore veteran anglers. Tons of wealthy retirees meant the place was constantly packed, keeping the daily hustle alive from Monday through Sunday. These guys threw cash at premium bait and shiny new rods without batting a single eye. My only nightmare? Deciphering their thick regional slang. Being a total out-of-towner left me completely lost in translation. It was just me and one other girl running the counter. The boss's brilliant niece, currently grinding for her graduate diploma. She pitched in between study sessions. Meanwhile, I stood there feeling like a total absolute beginner facing the complex register. Cass rescued me with saint-like patience. "The interface is super easy," she smiled gently. "Just watch my hands for a second. Our VIPs rock the yearly passes. Your main gig is scanning those shiny loyalty cards. Gear rental is fully complimentary for them. Any beasts they reel in go straight home, completely off the books." I absorbed every word like a sponge. Apparently, the big boss also operated a booming seafood joint right next door. Guests absolutely loved the catch-and-eat combo. Booking those luxury private dining suites was another massive part of our daily hustle. We juggled a million little tasks, but the rhythm was super chill. Luckily, adapting fast has always been my superpower. After perfectly downloading the workflow into my brain, Cass flashed a warm smile, grabbing her cute thermos for a quick refill break. "Skim the manual while I'm out. Be right back," she hummed sweetly. I gave a firm, extremely determined rookie nod. "You got it." Since she was literally crushing her master's degree at Ashford, treating her like an esteemed senior felt totally natural. It just felt correct. But as she vanished, an icy, wildly familiar voice shattered the peace. "Who was that, standing a little close, huh?" I jolted upwards instantly. Boom. Ivy materialized at the counter, rocking a sleek waterproof trench, trendy bucket hat, and wielding a pristine, terrifyingly expensive angling kit. Mia hovered alongside in matching camo gear, her eyes scanning the lively lobby with totally undisguised, chaotic curiosity. My whole face practically glowed. Leaping up with massive, genuine joy, I grinned widely. Ivy, you actually came to fish? Flashing a flawless, totally innocent smile, she lied beautifully. Mia desperately needed data for her intense aquatic thesis. I'm just her humble field assistant. Mia, practically kidnapped for this mission, shot her a deadly glare. Ivy just beamed back, completely unfazed. When exactly does your research finish? A monthly or a yearly pass? Mia paused, totally baffled. Why ask me? How on earth would I know my own deadline? Smirking, she tossed the question right back. When do you think this assignment should finish? Ivy looked back, her expression deadly serious. Honestly, the yearly pass is the smartest choice. Your professor will definitely assign a second and third fish topic. A yearly ticket is just 1,000, infinite entries. It is a total steal, right? Mia casually waved her hand, nodding along. Yeah, totally. Yearly it is. Not her cash, so zero stress. Watching their hilarious dynamic, a warm chuckle bubbled up from deep inside my chest. Ivy flashed me a bright smile. Cole, could we get 2 yearly passes? Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Please fill these out first. I smoothly slid the registration papers across the front desk. Still a rookie at this system, my hands moved pretty slowly. Yet watching from across the desk, Mia stayed perfectly sweet. Instead, she kept throwing bright, bubbly chatter my way the entire time. She grilled me about my shift hours, my hourly wage, and if they fed me well. Her endless questions felt like a literal job interview. Being pretty chill, I happily answered every single thing. Meanwhile, Cass stepped away for a quick water refill, spotting the waiting girls. Panic hit her. She knew I would probably mess up the computer system. Slamming her cup down, she dashed back over. Cass squeezed right beside me, our shoulders dangerously close to brushing. Leaning in close, she whispered softly, "A yearly pass?" Blushing slightly, I nodded and peeked at her. I still suck at this software. My bad. For one breathless second, our eyes locked together. Snapping out of it, she smiled. All good. I will handle this. Watch. She smoothly grabbed the mouse. As she reached, her soft fingers grazed mine. We barely noticed, but from across the desk, Ivy caught everything. Dark clouds instantly filled Ivy's eyes. Her previously cheerful aura completely evaporated into thin air. Leaning close, Mia mischievously whispered, "Little Sue, you have got some massive competition now." Ivy kept her cool mask up, breathing a heavy sigh. Honestly, a guy who caused instant butterflies. Obviously, other girls would notice him. Cole was wildly handsome, super sweet, and incredibly caring. It would be crazy if nobody liked him. Cass conquered the computer, sliding 2 fresh cards forward. All done. Your yearly passes are ready. Infinite access for the entire year. Walk-ins are always welcome. Drop by anytime. Gear rentals are completely free. Need a VIP spot? Just ring us in advance. Snagging their new cards, the girls thanked us brightly before hunting down the ultimate fishing spot. Cass froze, tracking their retreating backs until they vanished completely. Slowly turning around, she dropped her voice. "Are they your school friends?" Smiling, I nodded. Seniors from Birchwood College, right across the road. One eyebrow shot up on Cass's face, pure shock flashing through her eyes. College kids fishing? As a veteran employee, she knew every regular. Teenage girls visiting this place were basically legendary unicorns. Catching her utter bewilderment, I quickly revealed the mystery. They are agriculture majors. The girl in blue is doing heavy research on fish farming. They came to gather real-life data. Hearing this, Cass dropped her jaw in absolute shock. Wait, seriously? Because Birchwood's campus has massive high-tech aquaculture labs already. My eyes went wide with shock. Wait, they do? Farming details were way above my pay grade, but Cass seemed like a total expert. Catching my clueless stare, she broke it down for me. The university owned absolutely massive farmlands. That was their ultimate playground for hands-on, practical scientific experiments. Not just basic plants. They had huge livestock pens, sprawling fisheries, and epic orchards. The total package. Cass narrowed her eyes in pure suspicion. Why buy yearly tickets to our tiny, rundown hobby park? It made 0 sense. For serious marine biology research, this tiny pond was absolutely the worst choice. Our miniature setup lacked any real resources compared to the university's ultra-modern, massive mega-labs. They were totally worlds apart. Muttering aloud, Cass seriously questioned if our completely ordinary fish could ever help a university study. Honestly, I highly doubt they will hook even one single fish before dusk falls. Her amused skepticism speaks volumes. Meanwhile, it takes Stella 6 whole days to finally notice my total absence. Until then, Zane's fragile mental state entirely consumed her every waking thought. Terrified by his dangerously unstable condition, she genuinely feared he might do something completely reckless. Skipping class, she dragged him to her downtown apartment, staying fiercely by his side for 5 whole days. She desperately nursed his shattered nerves, yet, by day 6, his broken spirit still hadn't fully healed. Still, a deeply unshakable restlessness finally forces her back to academy grounds today. A dark realization hits her. Zane's psychological trauma might be infinitely worse than she originally feared. Sleep evades her that night. Tossing in total darkness, Zane's hauntingly pale face relentlessly plagues her mind. Suffocating anxiety finally shatters her patience. She throws off the heavy blankets. Slipping into her familiar garden gazebo near the servants' quarters, she lets the freezing night wind soothe her. Only the ghostly rustle of leaves disturbs the absolute deathly silence of the midnight courtyard. Her gaze locks onto that distant window, completely shut, pitch black, lifeless. Memories of her past life with Cole flood back. A heavy, suffocatingly complex emotion tightens around her racing heart. Glancing at her wrist, it is past 1 o'clock. He must be deeply asleep. She endures the biting chill until dawn breaks. Golden morning rays finally wash over her frozen, exhausted face. Sleepless and hollowed out, her eyes burn bright red. Following a dead silent breakfast, she mechanically prepares for class. Reaching the Grand Manor gates, a chilling sense of dread violently grips her gut. She constantly glances toward the servants' wing. Ticking seconds pass. That deeply familiar silhouette remains painfully absent. Her brow scrunches in deep frustration. Cole literally always departed at this exact moment. Why this sudden change? Her thoughts race wildly. Was he tragically hurt? Before her panic completely boils over, a sleek black sedan approaches. Relieved, she marches forward to enter. The moment she spots the driver, her face violently falls. A total stranger sits in Mr. Morrow's seat. Her glare turns icy. With a dangerously stiff voice, she demands to know Mr. Morrow's immediate whereabouts. Startled by her fierce aura, the stranger stammers out a shocking truth. Mr. Morrow officially resigned. Assigned as her new permanent chauffeur, his words make Stella's face drain of color. Panting heavily, she violently slams the door. Simmering with volcanic rage, she storms back inside, instantly spotting the head butler approaching down the lavish hall. She aggressively snatches his sleeve. Where is he? The stunned servant freezes, his eyes widening in pure shock. Ah, you mean the previous driver? He quit yesterday and vanished. Stella's voice turns to absolute ice. If he departed, then Cole. Cole must be utterly gone too. She barely needs an answer. The butler rambles blindly. He returned to his distant hometown, and Cole relocated straight into the academy dormitories. What an insanely capable guy that former driver truly was. You absolutely could never find a more fiercely loyal servant anywhere else. Completely impossible. Stella's dark expression instantly turns utterly terrifying. Frozen like a stone gargoyle, her dangerously volatile eyes silently scream. A devastating emotional explosion is just one mere heartbeat away. The timeline has distorted this badly. She absolutely never predicted this catastrophic shift. Before her tragic regression, Cole remained her endlessly loyal shadow, wholeheartedly devoted, fiercely protective, and literally never leaving her sight. The old chauffeur stayed tirelessly loyal through everything. Even across 5 long years of Cole's unwavering devotion, he never once dreamed of abandoning them. Yet post-rebirth, this new reality is horribly mangled. How? Why has destiny completely derailed? Did her mere resurrection truly cause this massive butterfly effect, entirely rewriting everyone's destined paths? And Cole, will his obsessively deep affection ever return? This terrifying question relentlessly spirals, flooding her trembling soul with pure, unadulterated panic she literally cannot ever control.